All right. What's good? What's good? What's good, man? Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to Sunday morning. We're waiting for Blood to get here. I'm sure he'll be here soon. Nicole Matthews, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Terrell W, what's going on, man? Literary Situation. Salute for nine and the boxing family. What's up, man? Literary Situation. Did you change your name? I don't think I've seen that before. Literary Situation. Cadillac 634 in the dough. What's good, man? What's up, Windy City Assassin in the building? Alden Johnson say good morning, Fanon, and the chat. Very good fights on last night. The Fandora girl was better than her brother, and I'm not saying that either. She is better than her brother for sure. 12-0 and only 21 years old. Yes, sir, she did look good. Daryl McKinney, good morning, Fanon, and chat. Wave when you come inside. Yeah, smash that like button. Let's get it in. Oh, you're new to that's what's up, Literary Situation. Edward Volaton, what's up? What's up? What's up? Say good morning, Blood Boxing in the chat. Knock out that like button when you come in. Yeah, Blood. I think Blood's not here yet, but I didn't want to wait a long time. Let me text him. I changed it because somebody blocked me. Oh, what was your name before? Literary Situation. What was your name before? Tell me what your name was before. So obviously we're going to talk about this fight last night with Roche getting knocked the heck out. Woo! That boy got that stuff put on that boy. Yeah, he did. Oh, Will Wright? Okay, you Will Wright? Okay, I got you, brother. Hold on. You know how we do. You know how we do. Will Wright. Do not abuse this, Will Wright. Where you at, Will Wright? All right. Don't use this wrench, but I'm going to block. I'm going to make sure that you don't get blocked, bro. Because I know Will Wright. Thank you, brother. Make sure you don't get blocked because we will throw people out of here. So there you go. There's your protection, man. There's your protection. What's going on, Daryl McKinney in the building? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How you feeling this morning? And good morning to the great Blood Boxing. What's happening with you, sir? You on mute?
Okay, yeah, I'm on mute, man. My bad. What's up with you, Fanon?
Man, another day, another dollar. You know what it is. Good fight last night. Good fight last night. Good conversation we got on deck today.
Woo, man. We're going to have some fire up in here today, Fanon.
Yeah. I know y'all got a whole bunch of shit you don't agree with me about, but that's all right. That's what we're supposed to do. So, but how was your weekend? How was your weekend, general, man? How was everything?
Hey, man, everything been real good, man. I'm enjoying this 50, man. I'm enjoying this. Hey, man, if it's true that life begins at 50, man, I've seen it. Shit. I've been enjoying the last couple of weeks. Like, man, I'm telling you, man, I feel so different, man. I'm feeling real good, bro.
I'm telling you,
it is not. This morning I was on my way, man, to Starbucks, and I saw a white boy, man. This motherfucker had a Trans Am and the Beastie Boys in a tape deck. And I walked up to him. I was like, hey, man, that's something special you got right there, man. Took me back. What's it called? Nostalgia or some shit?
Yeah, like nostalgia.
That? Yeah. I felt that shit, man.
Made you feel nostalgic.
That's what it was. I had a nostalgic moment, man, this morning. I saw the white boy. He was playing the Beastie Boys. He had a gray beard, so he's from our era and shit. And you can't even call them white guys. They're wiggers, man. He's just an OB boy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, and I saw a tape deck. The man had a tape in his car, bro.
Man, they can keep them classic. They keep them classic rides, man. The IROC Z was it? You remember the IROC Z? The cats used to be rolling. They used to be rolling in them mugs, man. Yeah, man. It's interesting, man, because I'll see some guys my age who will be driving down. Some white dudes will be driving down the street that are, just looking in the car. And they'll be having it. They'll have the music. They'll have that. They'll be playing like Big E or something like that. But man, that's part of their. It's wild that music is really part of their childhood too. And because exactly. So yeah, man, them guys really. Well, it's their childhood. It was my young adulthood. But yeah, man.
Yeah, because you that old shit.
Yeah, I'm 54, bro. Like you was a young boy, I would have whooped your ass a couple times before you hit puberty.
By 19.
This would have been a story with me and you, dog. You would have get like if you were the same age as me, like you say we had grown up together. You'd have been somebody around the age I'd be 14, you be 10, I slapped you in your mouth. And then by the time your ass turns 16 and you 6'4" and I'm 20, I still would have slapped you in the mouth. But once
I don't know about that for now. I don't know. You only got 4 years on me, man.
yeah, but at 20, I'll whoop your ass at 16.
I don't know, man.
Once you start getting around 22 and I'm like 26, then you got to be like, all right, he may be a little too big to be trying to slap up in the mouth now.
I don't know, man. By 1988, man, I was weighing 185 pounds, could bench around 230, 35 pounds. I don't know, bro.
In 1988?
By 1988.
So 1988, that means you were a freshman and you were a sophomore in high school?
I was the
I was
sophomore in high school. Into high school.
I'd have whooped your ass.
Hey, I was in class that had a beard.
You be just like the rest of them freshman football players whose asses I would have whooped.
I was the only kid in the class who had facial hair. I was bigger than everybody. I don't know for now.
I'd have whooped your big ass. Trust me. You would have been like, damn, what happened? Yeah, exactly what happened. You better wait till all that puberty kicks in till you get your full bully mode. At 18,
I had a goatee before you, man.
Nah, dog. I'd have whooped. I can fight.
I had a goatee. I had a goatee before you, bro.
Nah, bro, I can fight. I'd have whooped your ass. I can fight, and I would whoop your ass. And I like fighting. I liked fighting big dudes. I'd have whooped your ass. A freshman, and I'm a senior. I'd have whooped your ass.
I don't know, man.
Only freshmen I ever would have worried about, dog. Do you wrestle?
Yeah, I could wrestle. Hell yeah.
I mean, like literally, you like took lessons and wrestler.
I did wrestle on the team. Yeah.
I wouldn't have fucked with you because if you're a wrestler, I'm gonna stay away. Them wrestlers, they choke you out. They kill you. I don't fuck with wrestlers. Like you only fight wrestlers as an absolute last resort. Like they have to be coming at you for you to fight. Other than that, dog, I'm not playing with them dudes. They grab your arm. Next thing you know, you got your knee wrapped up underneath. They about to try to dislocate your arm and stuff. I ain't fucking with that. No, I got enough sense for that. But anyway, man. But up until regular dude, man, I whoop your ass. I'm fine with being able to whoop you. I'm confident that I could whoop your ass. But once you get to be 22 and you 6'4", 6'5", like 230, 240, that's around the time I start saying, let's start using.
I was about 210. I was 6'4", 6'5", but I was about 215. But I was real strong, though. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you start now with you.
I was a strong 6'4", 215.
Yeah, that's why you start diplomacy with dudes like you. That's when you start the art of diplomacy. How can we talk our way out of this fight? Too big, dog. I know my limits now. Too big, dog. Because them hands land heavy when you that big.
Now, 1986. Now, when you was listening to Cameo Word Up, that's when you would have whooped my ass at that time. When you was listening to Shalimar and all that, you would have whooped my ass then. Now,
I mean, how big was I? Man, I think honestly, man, shoot, I don't think I was like maybe 6'2", like right around 6'2", maybe one. Man, I might have been 160 because I was running track. That's like maybe 160.
That's right. You did run track.
Yeah, I mean, that was the only way. Yeah, I was only wearing about 160.
Track but you got a lot of leg strength, though.
Yeah. Oh, dog, dude. Dog, I've been in a lot of fights, dog. Dude, if I crack you, you're going to get hurt, bro. Like, that's the thing, dude. If I hit you, you're going to feel that shit. And I know how to hit you. I know how to hit you. So if I hit you, you're going to feel that shit. And on top of it, dude, I'll kick you in your fucking shin so goddamn hard. I'll kick you in your knee and that shit will fucking go back. Yeah, man, I used to fight all the time, bro. I was in martial arts. So I know how to fight. I'm trained to fight. And that's why I know the dudes that I'm okay with fighting. You tall dudes, it's hard to get to. It was at the time hard to get to me because I had fast feet. But man, I'll kick the shit out you in your stomach. Like, no joke. Like, them little front kicks. I never liked them side. Huh?
Bruce Leroy me.
Dog, I'll kick you dead in your diaphragm, bro.
Shit.
Kick you dead in your diaphragm. That shit hurts like a motherfucker, bro. I'll kick you in your kidney. I'll do a front kick in your kidney. That shit hurts too. You know how the kidney punch? That shit, man, a kick to your kidney will hurt. A side kick to your kidney will feel the exact same way.
Your personality type, I don't think I would have never had a fight with you, though.
Hell no, because we've been kicking. I
would have been real cool.
Yeah. We would never had a problem, dog, because you would have never, because first of all, I'm not aggressive. So there'd never be any need. I'm never going to start no shit with your big ass. But now, anyway.
I got brothers now. You would have to deal with my brothers too.
Oh, yeah. Now I wouldn't have fucked with you at all because I didn't understand that shit. No, I wouldn't fuck. You got brothers? I ain't fucking with you at all. Or cousins? Brothers and cousins. No, thank you. Them cousins are worth them. Them cousins are even worse. Man, I ain't playing with them. That's my guy that comes by the chat all the time, man. He got a bunch of cousins around him, man. It's like, nah, you fight one of them, you gonna fight the entire neighborhood. So what style did you learn? Aikido, Hapkido, and Aikido. Boxing with life, Hapkido and Aikido. They're primarily defensive though. So I'm not good for shit attacking somebody. But if you attack me, there's a good amount of grappling in it though. I just didn't fuck with them wrestlers, bro, because I fought a wrestler and got caught in the wrong way. That shit hurt like my God, man. That shit is scary when them lights are popping in your arm. Start popping. Fanon was fast. Of course I was fast. I'm still fast. Tripping. Hands, I'm still fast.
54,
I still got fast hands.
Now.
What'd you say?
Still whoop your ass. Fanon will still whoop y'all ass now. Don't think you won't now.
Man, Fanon gonna try to talk his way out of the nonsense. But if it comes down to it, bro, it's gonna be what it is. It's gonna be what it is. I'm gonna stab you. Let's get this shit. You don't get too close. I will stab. They got plastic ones, dog. They go right through the metal detectors, bro. They got plenty sharp plastic. Go right through there. Anyway, let's talk about this, man. So we got an agenda today. We got an agenda today where we are going to talk. First of all, we can talk about this fight that took place last night, man. Man, that boy got his ass whooped, didn't he?
Man, Roche.
Yeah.
Gotta go back to the drawing board, man.
Man, I don't think I don't. Go ahead, man. I'm listening.
They believed in him, man. Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins and them. They believed in him, man. But that just shows us once again that we don't really know where these fighters are at, bro. Like when you take a top 10, we don't know for sure if these guys that they're hyping up are really who they say they are, right? Until they get in the ring with somebody else who's undefeated. And I believe that there's a whole lot more of that shit going on for now throughout all the weight classes to where certain fighters are held at a certain status, and we don't know for sure if they fit the bill, bro. And that's an example of what we saw last night.
No, you don't. Well, I had a clue on Alexis Rocha when Alexis Rocha lost to Speedy Rashidi Ellis.
Yep.
So there was something with Rocha then where I really wasn't buying Rocha then. But I'm going to tell you, man, the thing that it really struck me, stood out to me. I kind of took it because I knew that Alexis Rocha was like a 6-1 favorite or something like that, like a really big favorite. He's a heavy favorite in that fight. So I went into the fight thinking, okay, he's fighting this flat-footed Mexican, right? He's fighting a flat-footed Mexican. It's going to be a rock'em sock'em robot type of fight. And so just kind of went in there not thinking too much of it. But then I saw Santillan's, how you pronounce his name?
I think it's Santillan or Santillon.
Is it Santiago or let me see.
Santillon or something. Santillon.
Yeah, Santillon. Yeah, Giovanni Santillon, right?
Yeah.
Giovanni Santillon. Do you know what his record was going into the fight?
Like 31-0 or some shit.
There you go, like 31-0. I was like, oh shit, this dude 31-0. Man, that reminds me.
Not only that, he had Garcia in his corner. I had never seen him fight either. But when I saw Garcia, I was like, okay, he must be pretty good because Garcia won't fuck with him if he didn't know how to fight.
Dude, 31. Go ahead, I'm listening to you.
So, I was just summing it up. That's all. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, man, look. That's why I keep telling y'all, you better watch these. Like people say that shit about Jaron Ennis. And the fact that who was he fought? He fought 31 people is who he fought. That man been in that ring 31 times. Santillan was fighting a guy that, although he had the hype, was 23-1. This man had been in the ring more times than him, and when he got in there with that dude, it showed because he whooped that boy's ass. Them uppercuts, putting 3 and 4 punch combinations on him, running him off on that boy. You can't underestimate, man. You can't underestimate people that have been putting in the work and people that have a lot of experience in the ring. Santillan, I know he's like 30 years old or whatever, but to have 31 fights, that's like when Zab Judah was asked about is Jaron Ennis ready for Terence Crawford? And he's like, man, I don't know if he's ready. And then I can't remember who asked him the question. It might have been Mill City. It was probably Mill City Boxing that asked him the question. It was like, hey, man, he's got 31 fights. And he was like, he's got 31 fights? He's like, yeah. Zab was like, man, if he got 31 fights, he's ready. I don't care who he fought. 31 fights, you're ready. So I'm telling you, man, people always try to use this like, who have you beaten? But don't be like, dude, he beat everybody he fought. They want to use like the fact that there's not a name that they recognize or they respect on that resume. But dude, if you beat 31 professional boxers, more than likely you know how to fight. And that showed against Alexis Roche, because that was just, dude, he dominated that dude, man.
Man, he beat the hell out of him, man. He wiped the floor with him, man. And the thing about it is, man, like you said, he beat 31 guys. And then on top of that, people always like to say, and me and you have talked about that since I've been back on OG Boxing Talk. We talked about this before, but we don't really know where these guys are at. It's just like when people try to discredit Deontay Wilder and say, man, he ain't beat. Who did he beat? Well, shit, he beat who they put in front of him. And shit, you don't really know where them guys are at anyway, because the rankings been fake for several years. When you have rankings when a whole top 10 ain't fought each other, you don't know who these guys are. All I know is that Deontay Wilder got in front of 40-something guys and knocked them the fuck out, which is something that I didn't see no one else do. So it don't really matter. You could say he didn't fight this guy and he didn't fight. That's your opinion. He did what he was supposed to do. He knocked those guys out cold. Point blank, period.
Yes, he did. Sorry, but I just got a text. Yeah, man. That's my take on that, man. Like, you got to be worried about these dudes, man. I wonder if they're gonna run that back, man. I hope they run that back. He's gonna beat him up. He's gonna beat him up again, though. They run that shit back.
I don't want to see him running back, man. Roche was just he didn't use no head movement. What happened to head movement, man? This guy wasn't trying to get out the way of them punches, man. This shit was crazy right there, bro. He just put his head out there to get hit like that. Well, this guy don't got no skill. I don't see how they didn't see that. But, I don't know, man. They just couldn't see that before, man. This guy got to go back to the drawing board, bro. He needs some
they could have fed him, though. Too. They could have fed him. They could have been feeding him. They could have fed him. Mm-hmm. They could have been like, yeah, we gonna cash out on this one. Maybe they trying to build up, maybe because man, he just looked like he had absolutely no answers. Just kept trying to do more of the same thing, and just got ran over, man. Just got ran over. But that means that your boy is no longer the mandatory. So Terence Crawford just lost a mandatory.
That's true.
Just lost a mandatory, because that guy's not going to be number one in the WBO anymore. And I don't know whether or not that means Centillon is going to be the number one dude, or whether or not it's going to mean that spot is going to open up for maybe Josh Taylor if Josh Taylor actually moves up. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you
that Centillon, man, he can't.
Centillon, thank you.
I don't think he could beat like a Josh Taylor or Terence Crawford. I'm still not that convinced. He definitely don't Terence Crawford or nobody like that.
I don't think so.
I think he's good, but who he had in front of him just was an overhyped fighter. This guy didn't utilize no head movement and was just walking into punches, man. This guy didn't do nothing, man. I mean, I just don't know what to say. He got his ass beat up real bad. Didn't have no game plan. Didn't have a plan B, a plan C. Didn't have nothing. Didn't even have a plan B, bro. Not even a plan B, man.
No, man. That was tough, man. But it was fun to watch, though. I can't lie. That's why I want to see him fight again, because he gonna walk. He looked like, to me, he looked a lot like the guy that Romy and Villa. That's the guy who beat
Rashidi Ellis, right?
Yeah, the guy that beat up Rashidi Ellis and got knocked out by Ennis. But at the very least, man, he's a good. I like Centillon for the welterweight division, man. I like him because he may not be able to beat the upper level dudes, but at the same time, man, he's gonna make that any fight exciting. That he's going to make any fight exciting because he can obviously he can crack, and he's going to come forward. Hold on one second. Okay, and he's going to come forward and try to make the fight. So shoot, I like him, man. I hope to see him in there again, man. I want to see. I kind of want to see the rematch, though. I ain't lie, dog, because I don't want to see good old beat.
That guy get Roche and get destroyed, man. He'd be better off to go back to the drawing board, man, because 2 losses in a row like that could really do something to a fighter's ego. So I think that what he needs to do, go back to the drawing board, and if he could catch him, in a few more years, then fight him then. But right now, he needs to go back to the drawing board, take some soft touches, and try to move on and rebuild his confidence, because boxing is also mental. So you got to have that confidence. You need a confidence booster at this point. And I'll tell you what, too, Fanon, for the zone to have 2 fights yesterday, that fight with the later fight was much better than that Jack Catterall-Linares fight.
Oh,
that shit damn near put me to sleep, bro. Did you see that?
I saw. You know what? I didn't see that. I knew what was going to happen in it, so I was like, nah, man, I'm okay with that. I was like, man,
I don't blame you, man.
I was like, nah, man, I'm straight. What the fuck happened here? Hold on one second,
you
man.
Didn't miss much. You didn't miss much, OG.
Hold on one second, man. I'm sorry. I got a little bit of
Go ahead and take care of your business. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to all of y'all, man. Orlando Pearson, what's good with you, man? I see you up in there, man. We got OG Orlando up in here. Big block up in the building, man. My boy, the Pull-Out Bandit. Well, shout out to you, homie. Shout out to everybody, man, who's up in here, man. Y'all make sure y'all, if y'all ain't subscribed yet to the OG Fanon International, y'all make sure.
True, I'm back. I'm back, man. I thought I just did some work, and I did some work, and you think your work just disappeared?
Oh shit! Yeah, that would be terrible.
Yeah. I got it worked out though. What's going on, T Orlando? Pull-Out Bandit in the building, man. So what were you saying? Like, what happened to Linares fight? Man, I knew Linares was trash, man. He's fighting up at 140. First of all, Linares should have been done, and he's fighting Jack Catterall at 140 when this dude was done at 135. He'd been done at 135. He was a 126 pounder that moved to 130. Then 135 is his 4th weight division, and he's been trash. So, but it was just a snoozer. He didn't get stopped?
Nah, he didn't get stopped. Catterall beat him up, though. I mean, well, not really beat him up real bad. Like, Catterall should have tried to push the gas and get him out of there. But Catterall is now he won the decision, and now he said he's gunning for a Josh Taylor. He still wants that Josh Taylor fight. So he's saying that either he could take the Josh Taylor fight. If not, he wants the winner of Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis, is what he said. Which I don't think he'll beat either one of them, to be real.
No, man.
Now, the Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis, that seems to be one of the premier fights at 140 pounds, man. I haven't seen the presser yet. Somebody told me it was a fire-ass presser, but I didn't get a chance to see it.
Yeah, they talk a lot. They both talk a lot of smack, man. But the problem with that fight is that you got Floyd just tanked it. The PBC just tanked that fight, bro. Like,
who the hell want to see Floyd Mayweather versus Mikey Garcia, though, man? That's a trash ass fight, man. I don't want to see that shit, bro.
No, it's not. But you know what it is.
You don't think so, huh?
Yes, I think it's a trash ass fight. Of course I do.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay, yeah.
Of course I think it's a trash fight. But I'll tell you what I don't think is a trash fight. Thurman versus Stanionis or Danny Garcia versus Erislandy Lara.
Those are good fights.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good fights. And you have that, and you have the name recognition of Floyd and Mikey Garcia at the top of the card. And here's the thing: Devin Haney and Regis Prograis a pay-per-view.
That's like, crazy. Okay, so us the zone subscribers, right? We have to pay extra for that fight?
Yes, unless you're in the UK.
That's ridiculous, right there.
Yeah,
that's not a pay-per-view fight, but bro, it's not a pay-per-view fight. Nobody knows who the hell outside of YouTube. Don't nobody know Prograis and Devin Haney outside of YouTube.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Floyd just killed that fight.
Man, listen, last night, Fanon, I was looking at the zone and I saw a promo for that fight. I haven't seen the presser, but I saw the promo and I saw the little young kid, Devin Haney, talk about there's levels to this. Didn't Floyd Mayweather used to say that? Like, come on, come up with your own catchphrases, man.
Hell no.
Like, there's levels to this, man. You ain't Floyd Mayweather, bro. Come up with your own shit, man. These guys got no swag about them whatsoever, man. They're not doing a. Hopefully, the press. I don't know if the press is gonna sell the fight because I still ain't seen that shit yet. I heard that there was some drunk trainer or some strength and condition. I heard about it, right? I heard about some drunk strength and conditioning man, spicing things up a little bit, but
why is somebody saying going to be enough
to sell that fight, bro?
Why they say somebody said he was drunk? Hey, real quick. Hey, C-Mac, thank you for supporting the channel, man. Thank you for that support, man. Thank you for that $2 holler, brother. And the Colbert Valenzuela rematch is on that card. Yeah, see, Chris Colbert versus Rayo Venezuela's rematch is going to be on the card too with Floyd. That's a stacked card.
It is, yeah. It's going to outdo the Devin Haney Regis Prograis fight for sure.
Yeah,
because it's going to be pay-per-view. How are people going to get to know these youngsters, man, when they keep pushing these guys on pay-per-view where nobody's going to watch them?
Man, they're not, but they're going to get money for that particular fight if for the 100,000 or the 70, 80,000 that want to do it. But you know, I still think that that's a way to save money for the networks. But man, yeah, man. But look, dude, honestly though, the fight that I want to see the most, is definitely the Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis fight. Absolutely. I mean, that's the fight.
I want to see it too, and I will watch it, but I'll be live streaming it. I'll be live streaming it. Yeah, I'm not live free streaming it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I'll be free streaming it. That's what I'll be doing.
You about to get him?
Yeah, I'm gonna hit him in the head hard, man. I'm not gonna let nobody hit me for no money like that no more.
Oh,
because
wow!
It's not a pay-per-view fight. I'm gonna hit him hard, man. I'm definitely gonna be watching it on.
Do you take that shit off your taxes?
For the free streams?
No, for the fights that you pay for.
No,
you should. You know you got a boxing channel, brother.
I didn't know I could do all that.
Yes, you got a boxing channel, dude. All your expenses, or you have a monetized boxing channel, do you not?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, you receive some income, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's taxable income. Since that's taxable income, your expenses related to your taxable income are tax deductible. So when you file next year, just remember that any percentage that you spent on your computer, on all of that stuff, you need to write that off on your taxes. Of course, that's only if you claim you have to claim your income. Because YouTube put, that's tax deductible for you, brother.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind then. I would definitely keep that in mind.
Not that that means that you need to buy it, because that's still expense.
No, I'm not buying that shit, man. Listen, man. I'm gonna be free streaming the hell out of that, man. Ain't none of these guys gonna hit me in the head like Floyd Mayweather used to.
Oh, he hit you in the head, dog.
Yeah, he ain't gonna hit me in the head. And I'm gonna watch the Floyd Mayweather thing too, but I'm gonna watch it for free. You got First Row Sports out there, you got Strikeout out there, all them streams, man. There's so many of these streams now, man. It's ridiculous, bro.
I don't even know how to get them, man.
Shit, I'll send them to you if you want me to.
Nah, I'm all right, man. I kind of I pay for them, man. I pay for them.
They're HD now, Fanon.
What do you say?
They're HD now, man. And I don't feel bad about it either. I don't want nobody telling me I'm not no true fan because I'm not buying Devin Haney. I spent all kind of money way back in the 1990s with TVKO and all kind of stuff for several years. I supported the sport when they gave us good fights and stacked cards. I'm not doing it now. And I'm not going to feel bad about it. If you guys don't think I'm a boxing fan, then let's have a quiz contest or something. And I'll beat out all of you guys, man. So it don't really matter to me. I'm a fight fan.
No, I ain't about to take you in no quiz. Now I'm going to tell you right now. Ain't no way in the world I'm taking you in no quiz contest, dog. You win. I'm going to start that shit before it starts. Ain't no way y'all beating blood boxing in no daggone quiz, man. Hell no. I'm a non-taker on that. But I will tell you, I made a dude, if I was ever to steal somebody's pay-per-view, it's going to be Terence Crawford's next one.
Oh, Errol Spence?
Oh, if it's Errol Spence, I'll pay for it. But anybody else, dog, I'll probably still pay for it. But you better believe, dog, I'll be thinking about stealing it. Because, dog, that dude don't appreciate boxing fans. He talk too much. He talk way too south. Now, if
we're gonna get into that though, we're gonna get into that today.
Oh yeah, we are.
Talk about it.
He talk a little too sideways from my particular belief, and I think he was dead wrong with what he said. I know we're gonna get into that. Blood funny for that. Hey man, thank y'all for everybody that supports in the super chat in the Cash App. For real, thank y'all for allowing me to have this channel and for allowing us to be able to pay these lights so I don't have to go steal a boxing match. Anyway, so yeah, so what do you think about as far as this guy? Where do you put this Santillan dude? Where do you put him in the context of the other welterweights? Oh, and somebody else said that, you know, that if Jaron Ennis went down and fought, I don't know who you meant to say, but Jaron Ennis is in the same weight class as this guy Santillan. But you can guarantee they're never going to fight because they're not going to feed that dude to Jaron Ennis. That is an ass whooping waiting to happen, that dude. But it would be an exciting fight, though. Like, it would be an exciting fight. The fighters that fight like that are really fun to watch. They make the fights fun. They really do. So where do you put him? T. Orlando said, I'm not giving money to the Arrow Cash Out Spence. T. Orlando make big bank, cheap as a mug. So where do you put him, man?
You know, I mean, they had Roche as a top 10 guy in every division. He was top 10. He was top 5 in a lot of these divisions and stuff like that. So I'll put him in the top 10 somewhere, man. He in the same class as that guy Villa that you just mentioned. And, you know, maybe he's not up there with Stanionis. I'll put him a level below, somewhere between Stanionis and Villa.
Oh, that'd be a good fight, though. That'd be a hell of a fight between him and Stanionis, though.
That would be a good fight. But after Stanionis beat the shit out of Keith Thurman.
Damn. Why are you selling out your Florida brothers, man?
That guy ain't from Florida, man. You know, he originated from out of Chicago.
Dog, that man.
He came from Chicago and then he moved down to Florida at a young age because Chicago was just not the place for him. So he moved down here. But, you know, only Chicago could birth somebody like Keith Thurman. That's the only place where you could come from, Chicago.
Man, that is a born and bred. That's a born and bred gator eating Floridian.
That's a Chi-Town boy right there. That's a Chi-Town boy.
If he was Chicago, he would have been cut his hair.
He can't help it now. He had to cut it now, but he's still looking ridiculous.
Yeah, hey, dude, you really got him. You got Stanionis beating Keith Thurman.
Yeah, I got him beating Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman been too inactive, bro. He's been too inactive. He's older now. I think that Stanionis could go in there and beat Keith Thurman up, man. Keith Thurman struggled against what's his name, Josecito Lopez. He had Keith Thurman rope-a-doping with that bloody nose and shit like that, man. I got Stanionis winning this fight, bro.
Man, I'm Team Thurman.
Last time Keith Thurman fought though, but it's been like 3 years.
Mario Barrios last February or something, like February of 2022, around the same time that Stanionis fought. Dude, Stanionis ain't fought in that long either.
But he's younger than Thurman too, though.
Yeah, that's true. Let me see if they actually put this up on his box rec though. Let's see if they actually put that up there yet though. If they actually put the date on there. Nah, they don't have a fight. They don't have a fight up there though. But the last time he fought was February, right before February, like a month before Errol Spence Jr. did. And then we have
February of 2022.
February 2022. So it's been
you're right. Stanionis ain't fought in a while either. You're right. It's gotta have been over a year since Stanionis fought.
Yeah, Stanionis. Let me see. Stanionis fought. Because I know who Amanda Stanionis fought, who he fought last. He only got 14 fights too.
I'm still gonna pick him over Thurman, man.
Yeah, Butiev. He about 2 months after that. Butiev in April of 2022, he fought Butiev. Keep gonna whoop that boy. I think keep gonna whoop that.
I'm going with Stanionis, and I'm gonna talk shit too. So I'm glad we see it different because then that'll give me one up on you on the pick.
Yeah, well, you know, I'll do a little bit more of of a study before that pops off. But yeah, man, I think that I know I'm looking forward to the fight, man. I'm looking for the fight. I'll find it real funny if Mikey Garcia whoop Floyd's ass in in an exhibition. That shit would be funny. But I don't think it's gonna happen, man. I don't think it happen.
Nah.
But all right, man. Let's get to these other little more hot topics. So, what was we were talking about? Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Give me 1 second. Showtime closing their door on boxing. Where would you like to see PBC go from here? That's the first one. So don't walk. What do you mean, T. Orlando? Don't walk it back now. I'm gonna walk it back. I don't know what you think I am. I have no problem walking some shit back. I'm not fully committed. I know that everything that Bloods Boxing said is true. And Keith Thurman has been out of the ring a long time. He's an older fighter, and I know Stanionis can fight, man. Stanionis is a good fighter. If he can't hurt Stanionis, man, Stanionis may overwhelm him, may put a lot of work on that man because he did it with Buchev. Stanionis can fight on the outside a little bit, but he can fight on the inside a lot. He mixes it up.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, he does, man. I got respect for Stanionis. I'm riding for Keith Thurman because there's so many Thurman haters, man. Thurman is one of the more despised fighters in boxing for no other reason but acting like Bud Crawford. I'm joking. But so, man, yeah, what do you want to see for the PBC? What do you want to see?
Man, listen here, bro. First of all, let's just go into this a little bit, man, right? Okay, so boxing has always had, well, not always, since the late 1950s, right? Boxing has had some kind of a relationship with network TV. Now, the first time it went south was during the Griffith-Perrette fight in the early 1960s. The networks canceled out for a little bit of time because there was a death in the ring. Guess who got it back together? Our hero, Ali, right? He brought boxing back to network TV. He helped elevate the sport, transcended the sport. And then boxing was hit hard again in 1977 when you had two tournaments going on TV. You had the United States Boxing Championships and the World Television Championships, right? So what ended up happening was that Don King, who was running the ABC version of the tournament, he was presenting the networks with records and things like that. And, he was giving them false records and false ranking systems and stuff like that. So when they found out and did that investigation, it hurt boxing. So CBS and ABC pulled the plug and basically said, hey, we're not going to fuck with boxing until y'all get it together. So you guys got to straighten up or else you ain't going to get no boxing on network TV. So that was a strike against them there. And then on top of that, what they was doing too is in these tournaments, you had guys like Tony Licata, them, who wouldn't participate in the tournament if Marvin Hagler was in the tournament. So the networks ended up finding out that, hey, we got some better fighters out here that they're trying to protect their fighters. They don't want to put these guys in the tournament, such as Marvin Hagler and a few other guys. So that's another strike that between boxing and network TV. Network TV has such an influence on boxing that in the early 1980s, right, HBO, they're the reason why we have same-day weigh-ins. Eddie Mustafa Muhammad was supposed to fight Michael Spinks in the early 80s. What ended up happening was Eddie Mustafa Muhammad came in overweight, so they got rid of the same-day weigh-ins and went to day before weigh-ins. This was over network TV, something to do with network TV. HBO ain't even here no more, and we still got same-day weigh-ins, right? So then network TV, they threatened to pull the plug on boxing again after the Kim Mancini fight. So there's always been some kind of relationship between boxing and network TV. But I'll tell you one thing for now, boxing is going to live forever. So I just want to put that out there. Boxing has had problems with network TV before. Boxing will always live through it. They're going to find something because hand-to-hand combat Shit been around for thousands of years. Now, what would I like to see for the PBC? I've been thinking about it really hard for now. There's been a lot of people saying different networks. Some people are saying Amazon. Some people are saying the Zone. Now, there's a lot of people over there at the Zone that don't want the PBC because the PBC, I'm just going to keep it real with you for now. The PBC comes with baggage, man. Their stupid-ass fan base don't know shit about boxing, number one. They don't know nothing about boxing. They're the ones who's going around here saying dumb stuff like Terence Crawford is the greatest ever. And, they said it about Errol Spence and, all kind of stuff like that. It comes from, and then they say guys like Sean Porter and Danny Garcia are Hall of Famers. And they use a lot of Heymanomics. Heymanomics are things that, 60-40, signed the contract. I call that kind of stuff. For me, I call it Heymanomics. That's just the way I talk. But they come with a stupid fan base. A lot of guys don't buy pay-per-views and stuff like that. And they don't always match up the best fights. I don't know what happened between them and Showtime, bro. I don't know what happened between them and the other networks, because Oscar De La Hoya came on the other day saying that Al Heyman fucked up with other networks too. And I'd like to hear your take on that. But I don't really get too involved into that stuff, man. But I'm going to tell you one thing. As much as I'm not going to fanboy for the PBC, I want Al Heyman to be successful, though, because that's another avenue towards boxing. I just want to see good fights, man. Wherever he ends up going, as long as he can match up the best versus the best, because the fans are more alert and more aware of what's going on now. The stuff that worked with Floyd Mayweather, who had an exclusive contract with Showtime, the same network that's now pulling out of boxing that me and you grew up on, because the shit been there for decades, and so was HBO. So it's sad to see things that we knew and that we got used to pull out of the sport, man. I've been watching Showtime and HBO forever, and both of them are now gone, bro. So, they're just going to have to do things different, man. I don't know what happened with all that money. People say that Al Heyman had a lot of money, messed the money up, and all kinds of stuff. There's all kind of rumors out there. I just want them to get on some kind of network because they got a whole lot of fighters with them, and I want to see these fighters continue to eat, but I want to see them fight the best. I want to see the best fighters fight the best, and I want to see them work with other promotional outfits. I don't care about all that business stuff. You guys iron it out like you used to do back in the day, and let's get these fights going on. Sam Silverman worked with Bob Arum. Peltz used to work with other promoters. Don King worked with other promoters. Goosen worked with other promoters. So that's the way it always worked in the past. These promoters get together and make the shit happen, bro. That's what I want to see. I want to see these guys work together. People will say that Al Heyman is not a promoter. He's a management guy and this and that. Or, man, I don't know. He's found a loophole in the system. Just get the best fighters against the best fighters. I'm going to stop right there for now. I'm going to hear what you say. And then we're going to take it from there.
All right, man. Well, first, man, I think that the biggest problem, the reason why we don't get as many good fights as we used to and that people don't work cost promotionally anymore is because these people don't, because they're not promoters anymore. But I don't think Bob Arum is a promoter. Bob Arum don't promote shit. Bob Arum don't promote shit anymore. Eddie Hearn barely promotes. What they do is they manage a contract that they have with a network. And if you remember some years ago, Bob Arum, when he was with HBO, when he was leaving HBO, because he felt that HBO was micromanaging was doing their matchmaking for them. Because you had, I don't remember who the president at the time, whether it was Peter King. Well, I think Peter King was the president of HBO at the time that this was said. And before that, it was Lou DiBella. And before that was a man whose name, he was there for a long time. I can't remember what his name was. But when HBO decided that they were going to start doing exclusive contracts with fighters. So like the first person I really remember having a exclusive deal with a network was Roy Jones Jr. And Roy Jones Jr.'s, all of his fights were going to be with HBO. And so as that moved on, you have the promotional companies who got exclusive deals with the networks, and the networks are the ones doing the promoting. They're the ones that are putting out the commercials, that are producing the commercials, that are putting on the programs like, you know, the 24/7 and all those things that they are using now to sell the fights. That's not how promoter, wasn't the job. That was traditionally the job of the promoter, to go out there and sell the tickets and, you know, go around with his fighters to all kind of different cities to get them to come to the fight or to buy the fight or whatever. But when HBO decided that they pretty much had a lock on boxing, they started saying, well, I want this guy to fight that guy. I want this guy to fight that guy. I want this guy to fight that guy. And a lot of the money for the fights were coming directly from the network. It wasn't coming from ticket sales. It wasn't coming from the closed circuit TV. It was coming from HBO directly, and then the HBO pay-per-view if they wanted to allow you to be on HBO pay-per-view. So that, to me, tells me that the networks were the real reason that you wind up starting to see certain types of fights being made and other types of fights not being made. Take, for example, Demetrius Andrade of DAZN with what happened with Demetrius Andrade and Canelo Alvarez. It was the DAZN right after Demetrius Andrade had beaten whoever it was to get that vacant WBO 154-pound title that was dropped by Billy Joe Saunders. They immediately said, no, we're not really interested in the fight between Demetrius Andrade and Canelo Alvarez. The network wasn't interested in it. And then you look at all the money that Canelo Alvarez made for fighting nobody. I mean, Canelo Alvarez didn't fight. Canelo Alvarez getting $25-30 million for fights that, you know, flat out weren't selling enough to generate that type of money for him. DAZN was just willing to pay the money so that they could have him in order to sell their boxing program. Same thing is going on with ESPN. When you have people like Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson talking about they're making $5, $6, $7 million a fight, there's no way that they're selling enough tickets and enough viewership to earn that money. That is Bob Arum taking the budget that he has, from ESPN, and paying the big name fighters a certain amount of money, and then paying the undercard fighters and all that stuff less money. So I personally see more bullshit fights taking place on ESPN and DAZN than you see on Showtime, because you just look at how many fights you see on ESPN versus how many fights you see on Showtime. Showtime might put on a card. What do they put on a card a month? Maybe 2 cards. Maybe
they could, yeah.
Yeah, they have very few cards. They got Showbox pretty much and pay-per-views. ESPN, if you look at the fights that are being made on ESPN and paid for by ESPN, and definitely if you look at DAZN got like 90 fights per card. I mean, every time they put a fight on, they'll be like, it comes on at 1 o'clock. The main event's not for another 5 hours, because they got all those other fights that they're paying for, on the undercard. So for me, I think that the way the networks pay the promoter, prohibit them, because they're on a budget, from making fights that are cross promotional, because the networks really don't want to compete with the networks a lot of times probably don't want to do it. But
it could be. Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah. So, but as far as like what happens with the PBC and what happens like moving forward, for me, I would prefer, and I hate that it was Showtime. I do, because I really like Showtime. I have an emotional connection to Showtime, and it's not because of the PBC. It's because I've been watching Showtime boxing as long as I've been able to pay for cable myself. I've been watching Showtime boxing. I've been watching Showtime. Showtime boxing was the one that gave Mike Tyson a shot when he came out of jail.
Okay, so there you go, Fanon. You got to remember that the first exclusive contract you saw with the network was not Roy Jones. It was Sugar Ray Leonard, and it was Mike Tyson when he left HBO and went to Showtime.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's the first time that I remember. I didn't know at the time. I wasn't paying attention to that. I didn't know. I don't doubt that though. But you see what I'm saying though? But like I remember, I don't remember what the first exclusive contract was. Even if you want to go to exclusive contracts, I think ABC I think ABC had a deal to get all of Ali's fights. Had to.
They did. They did.
Yeah.
They did.
They had,
Yeah.
So that network had that. Back before in the 40s and 50s, it was like they would have I think the major boxing outlets would have like Madison Square Garden would have a contract with the sponsors of the event.
Absolutely, and the sponsors of the fighters. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
like with Ali and the Louisville sponsoring group and things like that. But you know what, Bob Arum? See, here's the thing: HBO and Showtime were the premium networks. The others were on TV. So when they was having all them problems with network TV in the early '80s, you know, Bob Arum's been with ESPN since ESPN began. He stayed with them. So they came around 1981, ESPN. Bob Arum started Top Rank Boxing within that same year. So he's had a connection with ESPN for damn.
Top Rank was in the Top Rank came around in the late 60s.
It did, but Top Rank Boxing on ESPN, the show Top Rank Boxing.
Started with ESPN?
Started with the actual show Top Rank Boxing, started with ESPN. It had been around, you're right, because you know, we both know how Bob Arum, you know, started out the company and all of that stuff.
Yeah, how he stole that company. call what it is. I don't know how he did it.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, right? But
I don't know how. I don't know. Hey, watch this, man. I don't know how that man did it. Like, hold on, I got.
He damn sure did do it though, didn't he?
Yeah, no, it didn't start. He didn't start. He keeps calling himself the founder of it and all that. Man, that man ain't the founder of that company.
He's not. He's not.
But go ahead, man. I'm listening to you, brother.
Yeah, so you know, Bob Arum was able to establish a relationship with ESPN when they first came in. So he's been there for a long time. So all these rumors about, well, you know, because I've been hearing people say stuff like, well, you know, Bob Arum, he's going to be losing his contract with ESPN. They're getting ready to get rid of Bob Arum. I doubt that very seriously. He helped open the doors over at ESPN when they was doing those cards in the early 1980s. They've been with Bob Arum the whole time. Every now and then Bob Arum will go and work with another network, but he'll always stay tight with ESPN. I'll tell you when they're going to get rid of Bob Arum. They're going to get rid of Bob Arum when he kicks the bucket. That's when they'll probably get rid of him, which, you know, he's what is Bob Arum, 100 years old almost? So
like 91, 92, somewhere around there.
I'm not wishing death on Bob Arum.
No, definitely not.
But those guys are very up in age, though. They're very up in age. But I don't see ESPN getting rid of Bob Arum. And now, if that ends up happening in the next 2 years, you guys can tell me to eat my words. But Bob Arum has been with ESPN since they started, bro. Since they first started and kicked off their platform. He's been with them the whole time. He's established relationships over there. Now, and ESPN, they have ESPN Plus now, which a lot of the fights have went to ESPN Plus. So they kind of trying to get into the app thing a little bit. But I think he's going to maintain his relationship with ESPN for as long as he's alive, man. So all this stuff about him, ESPN going to get rid of Bob Arum, that's bullshit. You can't tell me that because he's been there the whole fucking time.
Yeah, you know, I don't know, man. Well, I'll put it this way. Let me put it this way. My thing that I want to see is I want a scenario on, and I wouldn't mind it being ESPN. I don't really like DAZN. I don't really like DAZN for it, even though I think like for certain ways, I don't really care. Like, all right, there's different interests. How much money? What's good? What's in the best interest of the PBC and PBC fighters? I would say if they could get a deal done with Amazon, that would be cool because Amazon is not on like a time schedule. You know, Amazon's not on the time schedule. They have, because they're not like they have so much ability to put on different fights at different times. I don't know how it would work on Amazon Prime because I don't really watch the live TV aspect of Amazon Prime. But,
right,
you know, if they can make more money and they got more money to make fights between themselves, I think that's good. I think that's good for the PBC and the fighters in the PBC. What's good for me is for at least one more of those networks to get out of boxing. Like one more of them. Because if everybody, if Al Heyman and Bob Arum had to compete with one another on the same network, we would get better fights as fight fans. We would get better fights, because whether you like the PBC or not, the PBC has a bunch of very good fighters. And there's and I don't care what people talk about with, like, okay, Top Rank is 21-4 against PBC. That's because they only have to fight them when they want to fight them. If you had a bunch of those Top Rank fighters having to actually fight the PBC fighters when Bob Arum doesn't want to choose it, you're going to see a lot of them Top Rank fighters taking L's. If you have a fight date where you're like, take for example, you've got, like, I know Jaron Ennis is not a PBC fighter, but you have somebody like Jeff Horn, like what's that man's name?
Cambosis?
Josh Taylor. You got somebody like Josh Taylor fighting Jaron Ennis. Well, that's going to be 24-3. You know what I mean? Yeah. But at the same, because a lot of those guys, man, they're going to lose fights. There's not going to be as many fight dates, because what ESPN has right now, from what I can see, they've got a lot of fight dates, but they don't have a lot of fighters that I want to see fight. You have fights on those cards that are including people like Nico Ali Walsh. You have fights on those cards like where I'm watching Richard Torres. Dude, I'm seeing Richard Torres on ESPN more than I'm seeing Deontay Wilder. So I would say, look, man, for boxing fans, I hope it gets centered on one network. And I hope that Bob Arum and Al Heyman have to cooperate and work together, because that's the only option that they have. And the network is saying, okay, if we're going to push boxing, we want the best fighters. We want the best fighters. And so I think in a lot of ways that would work very, very well. And then you could have, Al Heyman is working in his regard as a manager, because that's one thing that really does give Al Heyman a lot of leverage, man, not being a promoter, because as a manager, he can send any one of the fighters that he wants to send to fight with any promotional company that he wants to send them to. And those fighters and as many managers, many fighters, top managers, fighters that he manages, dog, it would be very hard for Bob Arum and those guys not to do business with him, especially if he's able to continue to have a relationship with the sanctioning bodies, where the sanctioning bodies order those guys to fight Al Heyman fighters. So I think that's what I want to see. I don't really want to see another network. And I said that before about Showtime. Like, I mean, look, dude, people saying that this is the fault of Showtime or the PBC that Showtime went out of business, that shit to me doesn't make any sense. Because if you know that somebody is going to be out of business 3 years ahead of time, which people have claimed, and you know that on the third year that they've literally had their best year that they've had in years, but yet they still go out of business, and you know that that there's a lot of stuff going on that is out of their control. You know what I mean? It's just out of their control. What Paramount does and what Paramount wants to do when they're in competition with Disney is not going to be able to be affected really by Steven Espinoza one way or the other. And it's proven where you have ESPN, who's not putting on fights that a lot of people want to see or are talking about. And their contract continues to go, but the people that are putting on the fights, the really big fights, they go out of business. That's more about the networks than it is about that particular department within the company. That's my take. I don't think that there's anything really that Showtime Boxing could do to convince Paramount to continue doing live sports and not to take the money away from live sports and give it to scripted programming, so those guys can make a bunch of movies and more Game of Thrones or more of the more of the, like Paramount movies that go direct to DVD or go directly to streaming. They want to spend their money on that. And I just don't think that live sports is, if they don't want to do live sports, there's nothing that other than obviously like the NFL or MLB, and that's going to be the only live sports that they do. That they don't, when they don't want to do a secondary or tertiary sport like boxing or MMA, I just don't think that there was anything that Steven Espinoza and those guys could do. That's my take on it.
Well, you know what? There's some strength in your take too. One thing that I like about your take is less networks. Is it also stopped these networks from running boxing events at the same time too, because we got a lot of that stuff going on. 2 weeks ago, I think there was 3 networks running boxing at the same time. We have championship fights coming on and stuff like that. We got one guy having a unified, 2 guys involved in a unified middleweight fight. Nobody's paying attention to that. You get everything over at the same network, man. These events won't run at the same time. They could compete with each other within the network. So I like that idea too. So there's a lot of strength in that argument that you have. So it sounds like to me, you don't really care where they go, just as long as we get the good fights. I think that's really where it all boils down to. As fight fans, we just want to see the best fights, man.
Yeah, I don't care, man. I do not care, really, because it doesn't do me any good. I am tired. I'm telling you what I'm tired of. I got a critique for every one of them daggone networks for me. Mm-hmm. From Showtime and the PBC, I want to see these guys fight more often, man. I want to see them fight more often. I don't want to see Keith Thurman fight like the conversation we just had. Hey, real quick, Daryl McKinney, thank you for holding down the chat, brother, with a big $25 holler, said for support. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you to anybody that supports the chat, bro. Like with the PBC, I don't see enough fights. I don't see enough fights. I don't need to just see the big fights. I don't mind seeing a fight where I don't mind seeing Gervonta Davis versus Rolly Romero. I don't mind seeing the fight if we know that 3 months later he's going to be fighting Shakur Stevenson. If I don't mind seeing Devin, mind seeing Devin Haney fight George Kambosos, which is a mismatch. If I know 3 months later I'm going to see him fight Lomachenko. But the thing that I don't like about the PBC is I don't like the fact that we saw Errol Spence in April of 2022, and we don't see him again until July of 2023. I don't like that.
Inactivity.
I don't like the. Yeah, I don't like the. That's one of the criticisms that are made about the PBC, which I really think are related to the splitting of all these fight dates and the fight resources in between networks. Right? Mm-hmm. And you see now that Showtime doesn't have any more dates, what kind of fight cards they're making. They're like, oh shit, we only got a couple more dates. Well, let's make a fight. Who's going to be on the fight card? Then you see Floyd and Mikey Garcia in an exhibition with Keith Thurman and Stanionis and Danny Garcia and Lara and Colbert and Valenzuela all on the same card. Then the same thing had happened. The same thing that happened in the last pay-per-view with Canelo and Jermell. Had a bunch of people, I can't even remember who they were because, I'm old, but they had a bunch of those guys on that card. Didn't they? Like, what was the card? What was that card, man?
There's a reason why you forgot who's on there because it weren't about that, all that, man. Come on for now.
No, they were good fights. Watch. I'm going to tell you what.
It was some decent fights with that. But I'm like,
watch this. Let's run this.
Shit.
What? No, I don't remember because I'm telling you, I don't remember shit. But let me unless that shit is ingrained. Look, watch this. And I'm going to compare it. I'm going to compare it to a fight card. Watch. You had Ugas and Barrios.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You had Canelo and Jermell. You had Ramos versus Erickson, and you had Ramos versus Erickson Lubin. Those are 3 good fights. You had Frankie Sanchez on the card. And then you had a good prospect named Elijah Garcia. Now let's go to this. Watch this. Let's go to Lomachenko versus Devin Haney pay-per-view. And see what that card looked like. The card. You had Nakatani versus Maloney, Moratala versus Nakathila, Oscar Valdez versus Adam Lopez, Floyd, it's a nobody. Nico Ali Walsh, Abdullah Mason. No, it's not the same. It's not the same level, man.
They weren't consistent enough though for now with those kind of cards.
But I'm telling you, they weren't consistent at all up until the last three. The pay-per-view for Errol Spence had fights on that card too. Look, I'm talking about the last three that they did. Terence, Crawford, because I noticed the trend myself. I'm telling you, I noticed the trend. I was like, man, these dudes why are they starting to put so many people on these cards?
Because they were probably getting some heat in the end, man. Because people were starting to not tune into those bullshit ass cards they were putting together, and pay-per-views. What a pay-per-view too for some of that shit too.
Hey, real quick, Keith Nolan, thank you, brother. Said boxing suffers for not making the best fight, constantly allowing fighters like Canelo to avoid Andrade and avoid Benavidez, or allowing Bud to avoid Boots don't help. Boxing needs to learn from MMA and UFC in that regard. But see, in order to get to the situation where you can be like that, you got to have everything on one network.
Exactly. Dana White has a kind of a monopoly in that. So you can't really compare the MMA when the UFC has kind of got a monopoly. Wasn't Bellator over there at Showtime too? What happens with them?
They're gone. They're gone.
Okay, so there you go right there. Now they got to find a new network too, right? And what's going to probably happen is Dana White's probably going to get those fighters too. He's got a monopoly that there's no one in boxing that's going to have in place what Dana White has in place. So it really makes no sense to compare them to. It really doesn't. People have been doing that for a long time. And it's a flawed way of thinking.
Hey, man, if they all wind up on that same network, there is a finite amount of money that those guys have. Now, the boxers may not like it, because this is why I'm saying, like, this leans into the conversation we're having about, your conversation about whether or not, fighters need to be at the table. Let me tell you, man, if you wind up in a situation where all those fighters, all those promotional networks wind up on only two networks, some of you fighters are going to be coming out of some money. Some of y'all gonna get real humbled, because you got to remember what these guys want. What these guys want is to drive down the money of boxers. They want to drive your wages down. That's what they want to do. And I mean, the promoters want to drive your wages down. The promoters. And if you have fewer fight dates and fewer networks, that means fewer fighters are going to be able to fight on those dates. And in order for you to get a date, you're going to have to take less money. And it's going to be you fight for this or you fight for nothing. And that's what, or you don't fight at all. And that's going to go. And I'm telling you, that's where I've been telling people for a long time. How much money you make is not necessarily a reflection of how good you are. You can't make the argument, well, I'm better than this guy, you got to pay me more. No, if the money is coming from the network, then it is going to be the network's discretion whether or not the money is available for you. So you can take somebody that is an excellent fighter. Let's take Jaron Ennis, for example. Or who's somebody that it's somebody else. Let me see, somebody else that people would say. Let's take Tim Tszyu. If Tim Tszyu can only get a fight date by fighting as the third to last fight on a fight card that is headlined by Gervonta Davis, he's not going to be making the money that he would if he was fighting as the headliner on something that Showtime had budgeted for. So when you shift off that network and you guys are happy that network like Showtime goes out of business, you better believe that your competition just got stiffer. Because now the employees for that other company are now coming to your network one way or the other. Errol Spence Jr. is going to get a fight date. And if it has to come by taking if it has to come by taking Tim Zoo's fight date, or Alexis Roche's fight date, or he's gonna get one. He's gonna get one. And you better hope Deontay Wilder doesn't, as a heavyweight, doesn't lose a network. Like now, Deontay Wilder doesn't need the money. So Deontay Wilder can pick and choose, right? And be like, I don't feel like fighting this year unless you give me the perfect situation. That's because he had made 15, 20 million, $30 million in his career. But if you got a hungry Deontay Wilder, somebody that got to work to got to feed for him, brother, your ass is in trouble because you're going to have to fight him. You're going to have to be in a ring with him because he's going to take how much I get for this fight. Well, I got $500,000 for you, Deontay. Well, I'll take it. And he's going to knock your fucking head off because he's for sure going to be taking the fight dates of Nico Ali Walsh. He's going to definitely take the fight dates and the fight spots of Torres. So all you boxers are happy and laughing that these PBC fighters aren't on Showtime. You better believe, again, Al Heyman is a manager. And as a manager, he can take his fighter to any promoter he wants. And if he has power over if he has enough influence on those sanctioning bodies, which he does, he can get his fighters ranked. And you're not going to be able to get out of fighting them. Now, this takes me back to what Bob, and here's the proof, his little historic. I'm going to try to match some history with blood boxing, which I am at a great weakness on. And then let me get these, and then I'm going to get to these 2 super chats to the people that are paying for the video and sponsoring this video. Thank you. Do you remember when Ali was the king of the hill and he got pissed at Don King? And what Don King did was Don King got all of the heavyweights. He focused all his energy on getting every other heavyweight not named Ali. Yep. And then because he had that influence with the sanctioning bodies, the WBC and the WBA, that he then put Ali in a position where he had to do business with Don King. Because he had Larry Holmes, he had Ernie Shavers, he had all those other guys were with him. So how can Ali's the biggest name, but if everybody around you is represented by that guy, you ain't got no choice but to deal with him. So I'm trying to tell you, y'all be careful what you ask for, because some of your favorite fighters are not going to get fight dates on ESPN. It may be less expensive for Bob Arum to be the promoter, because dude, a partnership between Al Heyman and Top Rank can be made very easily, because you know how he has that partnership with what's the guy's name out of Houston, man? James Prince. Right now, that manager, James Prince, has a lot of fighters that he manages that all go to Top Rank. Al Heyman as a manager could easily compete with James Prince as a manager and start taking spots that James Prince fighters were getting on ESPN. But I'm telling you, man, people say it's a loophole. It's not a loophole. It's ridiculously intelligent. And it is the way that the mob used to control boxing. Because if you remember, or if you've done the history on it, you remember in the 50s, the 40s and 50s and 60s how the mob ran boxing?
Yes.
Guess who worked for the mob? The manager. The manager was the front for the mob.
Yeah, so a lot of managers with mob ties, absolutely.
Absolutely. The manager did it. The mob controlled boxing through the managers, not through the promoters, through the managers. So if you got a manager with a ton of money, they can afford and a ton of other fighters that they can afford to, I need you to fight this guy. I need you to fight this guy. I need you to fight that guy. And that manager has control or has influence over the sanctioning bodies. Dude, he can maneuver himself around a promoter. He can because the promoter, remember, has the Ali Act, and there's supposed to be a firewall between the manager and between the promoter and the fighter. It's a direct business relationship between the manager and the fighter. The manager is a very, very important part of the equation. But what promoters do in order to co-opt the manager is that they will say, look, you're a fighter. This is what Bob Arum can do. Bob Arum has heavy influence over James Prince because James Prince may only have 5 or 6 fighters. He only have 5 or 6 fighters, and who are they going to fight? They're all going to fight each other.
But see, the managers back in the day, they worked together, like the Gil Clancy's. He was a big-time manager, so was Customato and all of them. And they might have had some slight mob connections and things like that. But Gil Clancy and Customato, they could go to the table and work together.
Yeah, and they could work with whatever promoter. They would work with promoters, and they would do that. But the difference between Al Heyman as a manager and any other manager is the number of fighters that he has. Man's got hundreds of fighters, and top level fighters. And it doesn't have to be the number one guy, but God dog, you'll have the number 5s, the number 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And he'll do it, and he's doing it specifically within certain weight classes where he has that. So when I look at the business model of Al Heyman, I think this, first of all, the man is brilliant. Managing those fighters allows him to take him to whatever network, but he has a platform. So if the PBC, the television platform that is actually organizing the fights, you have the PBC, you have the network here, you got PBC here, then you got the promoter here, then you got the fighter, and Al Heyman is operating in between the promoter and the network, and he's operating between the promoter and the fighter. That's double leverage. The leverage he has over the promoter, the leverage that he has over the relationship he has with the fighter is increased because of the leverage he has with the promoter. And the promoter and the relationship he has promoter is leveraged and increased by the relationship he has with the network through PBC. It's like stacked architecture, man. That man got that shit. I'm telling you, man, you thinking that dude's going to go out of business with that model? Good luck. Real quick. Aaron Muhammad says, salute Fanon. The PBC has been the one to catch the blame for a bunch of fighters trying to overvalue themselves and be their own promoters, but willing to finance their own fights. Yeah, they have taken a lot of blame for that. Absolutely. I'm telling you, man, there's the way, if you really look at how Al Heyman is structured, he's the most powerful man in boxing by far. And he really does not need a network. If he loses the PBC, which is the way that he deals directly with the network and allows him to work with promoters that he chooses, all he's going to do is sign more fighters as a manager. That's all he's going to do is snatch up more fighters as a manager. And if he gets 200 fighters under his management umbrella, and he's able to influence the ranking system, which is completely funny, as you say, them promoters aren't going to have any business, ain't going to be able to do anything but do business with them. And that's going to drive down the opportunities for fighters signed directly with promoters that Bob Arum doesn't like, that will not do business with Bob Arum, with Al Heyman. And that was the basis of his lawsuit, the lawsuit that was put out there on Al Heyman by Top Rank and Golden Boy when they claimed he was trying to have a monopoly. I'm telling you, man, the organizational structure of the way that Al Heyman does business, man, you jumping out of the fire and out of the frying pan into the fire with that dude. I'm telling you, man, because he has the most critical role, which is the manager. And if he has enough money and he has those fighters tied down in tight enough a managerial contract, and he treats them right and they're loyal and they can get in the rankings, dude, PBC will wind up on ESPN without ESPN even really wanting to do it. No joke. It's that tight. Hey, Keith Nolan said, I don't agree. Look at this is for you, Blood. I don't agree. Look at the beginning of MMA. They were different networks. Pride, UFC existed the same time. Both were able to make the fights people wanted, and fighters could move back and forth easy.
That's bullshit because Pride only lasted for 10 years. Pride was a Japanese-based promotional outfit, and they were a promotional outfit. and they only lasted for 10 years. And what ended up happening? Pride folded, right? They folded in the early 2000s, or I know they only went for about 10 years, right? And then all those fighters in Pride ended up in the UFC. Is what ended up happening. So it only lasted for about a decade. They still ended up folding and went out of business. They was Japanese. They was just the Japanese outfit that couldn't compete with the UFC.
The Pride, yeah, I remember. I was never really into. I really never really knew that.
They went from 1997 to 2007, right?
Yeah,
and they couldn't compete with the UFC, and all the people who were over there, Pride, when Rampage Jackson over there and all them guys, they ended up going to the UFC. The UFC has a monopoly. That's the difference. As far as Al Heyman having a monopoly and him having all those fighters, and him moving as a manager, he's still going to need to establish some kind of a network, because if they start freezing out the Al Heyman fighters, then people are going to be more reluctant. They're not going to want to sign with Al Heyman, man.
How are they going to freeze him out? That's what I'm saying. They're not going to be able to freeze that guy out. He got too much money, and he already has the established relationships with the sanctioning bodies.
He still has to establish some kind of home with the network, though, unless he
I don't
plans
think he
on
does.
going solo and doing his own app.
No, I don't think he does. I really don't think he does. If he just say he doesn't do the PBC and he manages 200 fighters and he gets those ranked, the networks want belts. That's what what's in it for the networks. The networks want championship fights. That's why we got so many damn sanctioning bodies right now. Because every network wants to say we're putting on championship fights. That's the only reason them saying, besides validating the records and all of that stuff, that's the major function of those sanctioning bodies.
If that's the case, then he could just move freely as a manager between all the different networks.
That's my point. He can get his fighters. He can get his fighters into positions where they become mandatories for belts. And when they become mandatories for belts, if he then negotiates the deals with the promoters, and the promoter may have a deal with the network, but it is going to get a lot more stiff on those promoters, because those promoters are not going to be able to do in-house fights, because he can infiltrate the rankings and prevent you from doing in-house fights, and therefore make it more expensive for those guys to do that. And you're not going to have a lot of leverage over Al Heyman. Like Bob Arum has no leverage over him. None.
No, he doesn't have any leverage over him.
But he has leverage.
But he is moving differently as a manager. You're right about that.
Because of his size. I still
think it would be a better idea for him to establish some kind of network relationship still.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're right. He could move freely as a manager between different networks. If that's his plan, I don't know if that's what he plans on doing.
No, his number,
something that he could definitely bring to the table. Is something he could do, because he's got the fighters, he's got the product.
Okay, so
it's just like a drug deal on the block having the product. If you got the product, people are going to do business with you. If you got the best weed or the best cocaine in town, people are going to do business with you no matter what. If you got all the dope, they're going to do business with you.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see where they end up. What I would like to get into for now, I don't know if you finished your point, is this stuff about Terence Crawford, what he said about fighters should be allowed to sit at the table. Right?
Okay, yeah, I can, but yeah, let me finish my point and I'll transition into that. So Al Heyman is a manager. Like I'm talking about, when people talk about leverage and negotiations and all that, I always bring up this concept called a best alternative to a negotiated agreement. When we talk about A side, who's the A side, who's the B side, right? We have this discussion, but what the real term is in negotiations that matters is who has the best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Who has the best option if what you want to do doesn't work? So when you look at Al Heyman, what does he want to get done? Now, if I'm Al Heyman, I think I want my own network, because if I have my own network, that means the promoters have to come to me to get their fighters opportunities to fight. It makes the promoter have to directly talk to me because I own the platform. right? Which is supported and aired by the network. So consider the network the base. And then on top of that, the promotional company sits on top of that. And then the manager who has fighters, right, then does business with the manager. So with the promoter. So if I'm Al Heyman, I've got the promoter coming and going. I got him coming and going. Hey man, do you want your fighters? Do you want your fighters to be? Do you want the fighters that you're promoting to be able? Do you want to be able to put? Hold on one second. So if I'm Al Heyman, if just looking at this is way from the outside looking in, obviously, I'm saying, yeah, I definitely want my own platform. I definitely want my own platform. I don't want to deal with DAZN. I don't want to deal with DAZN because dealing with DAZN means you got to deal with Eddie Hearn. And Eddie Hearn is basically has the same type of setup with DAZN that he has, except for Eddie Hearn is doing it as a promoter who gets all of the fight dates, who has a lot of relations with DAZN and the owner of DAZN. And as a promoter, he's stealing other promoters' fighters. So if I was Al, I wouldn't want to fuck with him. That's why I think they say, nah, I don't want to deal business. I don't want to deal with him. But if he's unable to get the network, then what is his best option after that? He can still tell his fighters, don't worry, we're going to get fight dates, and I'm just going to have to negotiate every single solitary fight for y'all with the promoters on the networks that they're going to be in. All I'm going to do is push you further up the rankings. And when I push you further up the rankings, they're going to have to negotiate with us and you're going to get fight deals. He's got enough money that if he signs a new kid that he's going to be able to, he may have to change a little bit in far as giving some fighters some advances. Right. And saying, hey, yeah, I'll do like James Prince does and give you some advances to kind of cover you and do more of that stuff that a manager does. He may have to change his business model slightly as a manager, but still, just because of his relationships, the size of his organization, his experience, the money he has access to, he's already the biggest manager that there has been in the history of the sport. And he's going to be very difficult for any promoter to deal with because that as a manager, he has better relationships with the sanction bodies than the promoters do. So I don't think that being a promoter and doing that, going in between networks is his preferred method of doing business, but it is still a deadly second choice, especially when you.
I think to conclude my thoughts in this discussion, I
Yes,
think
sir.
that what he could do, right, is if he can't secure a network, why not get involved in the apps? Why don't he create his own DAZN, maybe a PBC app or something like that? To where he could feature his fighters how he wants and conduct his own business. There's no reason why he should be able to establish his own kind of app, since that's what people are doing anyway with DAZN and ESPN Plus. Just put together a PBC app. That can't be that damn well expensive.
I mean, put it this way. I think that adds a lot of cost. He probably won't want to do that because it adds a lot of cost, and not just cost in dollar cents, but cost in time and cost in the focus. So if he created an app, he would then have to market that app. He would have to, it would be much easier for him to deal with established, especially for the size and the number of fights that he has, with an established a network that's willing to put the money in. So
I agree with that, but if they don't want to work with him and the people keep saying stuff like, well, they're not going to give Al Heyman that money over there. DAZN ain't going to give him no money. Amazon Prime ain't going to give him no money. Okay, well, he could do his own thing then.
Those dudes are fucking buffoons. People that say that shit are fucking buffoons. Well, and I mean that shit. That's buffoonerish. That's buffoonery. Buffoonery. Every place this man has gone, he's gotten money. Every place he's gone. He had fighters on HBO. He had fighters on Showtime. He's had fighters on ESPN. He's had fighters on Fox. He's had fighters on Spike.
But the counter to that is people are going to say, and this is what people are going to say. I'm not saying I disagree.
No, I got you.
But they're going to say that, well, he burnt those bridges. That's what guys like De La Hoya and them have been going around saying. Rick Glazier and all these guys have been going around saying, well, he messed up with 11 networks. I think from what they say, it was 11 networks that he supposedly burnt bridges with, right? I don't know how accurate that is. I'm not saying I'm not sold on it, right? But that's going to always be the counter.
Yeah, they can say
work out. They folded because of him, and they
can say that on him. They can say that, but it makes no sense.
Okay.
They can say that, but it doesn't make any sense because he's continued. First of all, Showtime's whole app went out of their whole boxing division went out of business. The whole boxing division went out of business. Their whole sports division went out of business. And it was not related to him. It's related to a decision that was made way above the pay grade of the Showtime boxing. You think Showtime boxing decided to get out just itself? It didn't go out before he got there. It didn't go out of business before he got there, and their numbers went up with him. He's somebody that can say, look, man, look what I've accomplished just in my last year. Our organization has put on the biggest fights in boxing history this century. You cannot name it's very hard to name a huge fight that was made without him. You've got ESPN. His numbers are way better than Bob Arum's are. Bob Arum's numbers, Bob Arum is on top rank with at ESPN. There with, I don't know, 35, how many, I don't even know, 100 million homes have ESPN. His fights are only drawn 900,000, a million.
Well, a lot of those fights have been placed on the app, on the ESPN.
No, I'm talking about the ones that are on. I'm talking about the ones that are on regular ESPN. I'm not talking about the ones on ESPN Plus because you don't know what those numbers are. I'm talking about the ones that are actually being aired on ESPN. Their numbers are not good, and their numbers have not improved in the 5 years that they've been there. Those guys are not. Look what Bob Arum said about Terence Crawford, who was the number one, basically, and he was the number one ratings getter for Top Rank. He said, man, I've lost so much money on this guy. I could buy a mansion. They're not making big fights over there. Just not doing it. So people that say that they're the reason, you got to explain to me how the world this man just did how you think nobody wants Gervonta Davis? You think nobody wants Errol Spence? You think nobody wants Deontay Wilder? Nobody wants these other fighters that he has? He's got a 3-fight deal with Canelo. How in the world are they not going to do business with the guy that makes the biggest fights? When they know full well, and everybody that is being honest knows, that there's a technological shift. You have what happened with Showtime. Showtime is not primarily a sports network. So they get out of live sports. Was Bob Arum the reason that HBO went out of business? I don't hear anybody claiming that Bob Arum and Golden Boy Promotions are the reason that HBO went out of business. And Golden Boy got kicked off of ESPN. Golden Boy was originally with ESPN and they got fired. And Golden Boy got like 2 fighters.
They got 2.
They got Golden Boy like 2 fighters. DAZN is primarily a sports network.
Fault, man.
Man, look, I'm telling you, you guys, people have been talking. PBC had the biggest year of any outfit last year. Easy. And now you're going to have to compete with them. You have to compete with them. When your contract is up, when you say, look, I got the best roster. Well, no, you don't. What about the PBC? And the PBC puts a bid on them. It says ESPN, hey, look, I think I can do a better job for you. I can bring you Canelo. I can bring you Gervonta. I can bring you Errol Spence. I can bring you Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman. I can bring you Landy Lara. I can bring you David Benavidez. I can bring you all these fighters. I got 150 fighters that I can bring and give you better matchups. Then you won't have to keep seeing Richard Torres and Xander Zayas and Keyshawn Davis and all these other fighters that nobody gives a shit about. ESPN Top Rank only got like 1 or 2 fights. What big name fighters the Top Rank got?
Top Rank. What big name fighters do they have? You know, but I'm gonna
None.
agree with you though. But Fanon, I don't think that none of these guys are superstars in the environment.
Okay, let me
now.
put it this way.
When I think
Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, leave Terence Crawford out of it. Errol Spence, Gervonta Davis, Canelo Alvarez, Deontay Wilder.
those are big names, but they're not
Right.
superstars.
I know, I got that. I know they're not superstars. I'm saying they're big names, right? Give me a top-ranked fighter bigger than any of them. There isn't one. There isn't one.
Their biggest one is Terence Crawford right now.
No, Top Rank. He's not with Top Rank.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's not with Top.
He's not with Top Rank.
Who's with him? Lomachenko? Is he still with him?
Yeah,
That's right. Terence Crawford.
That's
What made
it.
me say that? I forgot.
yeah. Top Rank. He's not even with him anymore, and they were losing money with him. There's nobody.
But
There's
the thing
nobody.
about it is, man, none of these fighters are really that big any damn way. Because when I think superstars, I think Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali,
Yeah, for sure.
Ray Leonard, and guys like that. And
The
right
only guy that I
now,
would
Tank
say-
Davis ain't on that level.
Not that level, but Gervonta Davis is bigger than any fighter that Top Rank has
That's facts. That's
easily.
facts. I won't argue with that.
He sells tickets.
Absolutely.
He sells pay-per-views. If they put money behind Gervonta Davis, if they put money on those type of dudes, dog, they have a better roster. They have a bigger and better roster than Top Rank. But the most important thing is that that Top Rank will have to compete with them, which means it's going to, and competition usually does what? It drives down the price for the people doing business. So they can say, hey, Bob, look, yeah, we love doing business with you, Bob. But, man, we getting these fighters. We're going to have to cut off some of your budget for these dudes. And you know who more than likely it would hit? Going to hit James Prince and the managers that work directly with Top Rank. Because Bob Arum ain't stupid. Bob Arum will be like, okay, how are we going to work? Hey, yeah, how are we going to work with Bob? How are we going to work with Al? Come on in, sit down, Al, or I'll see you, Al. How are we going to work together? Bob Arum working with Al Heyman on ESPN is going to make a much better product for boxing fans on ESPN. And it is going to drive down the cost. The PBC fighters are probably going to make less money. Those fighters, those mid-level fighters that Bob Arum, those mid-lane and prospects fighters that Bob Arum is putting on that have promotional contracts with him, they're going to get fewer dates. They're going to get fewer dates because of the competition. Hold on one second. G-Man King, how can I help you?
Yo, what's going on? Hey, by the way, Tyson Fury is in Top Rank, and he's bigger than those fighters that you named.
You're an idiot.
No, I'm not.
No, he's not.
Look at the money that the Saudis are paying him.
That's the Saudis.
Look at
It
the
doesn't
money.
matter. That fight is not. No, he's not bigger than them. But thank you for trying to name one. No, he's not.
He's making more money than any of those guys ever
It
made.
doesn't matter.
Fine.
Doesn't matter how much money
No.
he's making.
That's
doesn't matter.
what matters in life,
It
bro.
doesn't matter because the money is not going to the network.
That's what matters, brother.
No, it
take
doesn't.
percentages
The
out of their
manage
purse.
the money that they're getting paid does not go to the network.
Yes, it does. That's
How?
That's why they
Does
show
it
it
go
on
to the
ESPN.
network, clown?
That's why
How?
it shows on ESPN and BT Sports. Come on,
You're
brother.
a fucking idiot. You're an idiot.
And my
You're
brother,
saying ESPN.
Hey, but I
Idiot.
forgot that Tyson Fury was over there though. For now,
Come on.
Yeah, okay.
Come on.
Excuse me, King. What part of Tyson Fury's purse is going to ESPN, idiot?
The reason he signed the contract with ESPN is because he pays Bob Arum.
Idiot.
He pays.
What part of Tyson Fury's purse is going to ESPN?
I don't know
idiot.
that.
Then
I
shut
don't know
up.
the exact number.
I'm talking about what's in it for the network, not what's in it for Tyson
network also
Fury.
made a deal with the Saudis, brother.
Dude, so what? That's not ESPN is not getting extra money for that.
Oh man.
That money doesn't go to ESPN. I'm talking about what ESPN gets. I'm not talking about what Tyson Fury gets.
Fury's a pretty big name.
There
He's
you
the
go.
biggest one
Thank
they
you.
got.
Okay, so great. That puts him in he got one that runs in at number 3.
He's bigger than all of them.
He's
Look
bigger
at
than
the money.
Canelo.
Look at the money he's making.
You're a fucking idiot. He's bigger than Canelo.
He's making more money than Canelo.
Fucking
Yes.
idiot. He's bigger than Canelo.
Yes.
You're a
deal-
fucking liar.
I don't
Dude,
think he's bigger than Canelo.
hell
I don't
no.
think
He's bigger than
Canelo.
Gervonta. He's bigger than
I'm gonna
Gervonta
keep it real
Davis.
with you,
Damn
King. He's not
sure.
as big as Canelo.
He's not big as Canelo or Gervonta.
Let me
Neither
ask you,
one.
this. Why is he making more money than them?
He's not.
Why is he making more money
He's
than
not.
them? Okay.
He's not.
He's making more money than them. That's a
He's
fact.
not. He's not.
I think
His
overall
fight-
he's made more money than Tank Davis.
No,
Overall.
he is not.
Yes, he has.
But,
Excuse me.
but
Let me
I
help
don't
you
know
guys
about
with this.
Canelo though. Canelo's taking it a little far.
Let
King.
me help you with this. When I'm saying he made more money, his fights earn more money.
It doesn't matter. I'm
Yes,
talking
it
about
does,
who's
you
earning.
fucking clown. Stop cutting me off, you clown. Gervonta Tank Davis's last fight had a $22 million gate, which is twice or three times as big as any gate Tyson Fury has ever had. His pay-per-view sales were at a much higher cost, generated at least twice of the amount of money of any fight that that Tyson Fury has ever had. Gervonta Davis has been in $100 million fights that generated the money. Now, if you want to talk about the Saudi Arabian welfare project that they got over there, where you got some Saudi sheiks that are willing to pay for the whole thing so that they can perform in their front yard, that is not predictable income for a network. You moron.
We're talking about fighters' pay.
No, you're talking about it. So if I'm a billionaire, you moron, and I say, Blood, I'll pay you because I want to $500 million to come fight in my front yard. That makes blood boxing a bigger fighter than Gervonta Davis because you can find one exception.
That's completely wrong.
No, that is not. It's
That
the
is
Saudis.
wrong.
It's the Saudis. First of all, you're going off of a rumor that has not been verified.
Okay, we'll see on Forbes.
Yeah, we ain't gonna see shit, and you better stop taking that
Forbes.
damn food out your mouth talking to me. Because I don't appreciate that shit, dude. If you're gonna talk to us, at least be polite and not to have your mouth full of whatever you stuck in your mouth.
All right, that's fair.
You still talking with food in your mouth.
I'm done eating.
Dude, I can tell a muffled voice, dog. See, I should crack a joke about you. But look, man, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in this dumb shit, dog. We're trying to have an intelligent conversation. Tyson Fury's fights do not generate anywhere near what Gervonta Davis.
Why don't the Saudis approach Gervonta? Why, since he's such a big superstar?
Because he doesn't need them.
The Saudis aren't stupid.
How do you know? First of all, how do you know they did? How do you know they didn't?
Because we haven't seen nothing about it.
But you don't know.
We haven't seen nothing about it, brother.
Do you know that the Saudis have never approached him?
Yes.
You sure?
Yeah.
Who told you that?
I haven't heard anything. So yes.
That means you know that it didn't happen?
Yeah.
Okay, so hey, did you see me eat a hamburger last night?
Yeah, I did.
You saw me eat a hamburger last night.
Yeah.
So we now know that you're just willing to lie.
Listen, bro, you get my point.
Listen, bro. You don't know that. You're just saying that to say something. You don't know what has been offered to Gervonta Davis and what has not been offered to Gervonta Davis. You don't know that. Okay?
It's a broken business at the PBC, so they don't approach them. They're not superstars. They're,
Hey, Fernand, I like this King guy, man. We're gonna have to disagree.
What
King, you my boy, man. Thanks for bringing up Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury. Hey, by the way, Tyson? Hey, Blood, though, answer a question for me.
All right.
Who did Tyson Fury fight in his biggest fights?
Deontay Wilder.
And who is he managed by?
He's who's his manager?
A manager and advised by what outfit was he on?
I thought it was that
It's called the PBC. No, don't skip around it.
Is he still managed by the PBC?
It's called no, but Al Heyman. I mean, Deontay. Yes.
No, I'm talking about Tyson Fury. Who's he?
No,
managed
I'm
by?
talking about Tyson
Oh
Fury.
yeah, definitely.
Were
Deontay
against
Wilder is
Deontay
absolutely.
Wilder.
But
And
you know what?
then back
I'm
to
not
the,
even gonna lie to you, bro. I think
what?
that Tyson Fury, he's
Oh,
in the
get out of here,
discussion,
man.
like it's because he's got
Thank
a
you.
bigger net
Thank
worth
you.
than a Tank Davis. He's made
Thank
more
you.
money than Tank
No,
Davis.
he's not. No, he's
Thank you,
not.
blood.
No, he's not.
Overall, he's made more money.
No, he is not. No, he is not. No, he is
That's a
not.
fact. He
If
made
you look at their
33
net worths, I'm telling you now.
I
he's
don't
got
care
more
what
money.
they say about. I don't care, bro. No, he is not, bro.
Yeah.
No, he is not, dude. He's not. His fights are not the money. I don't want to keep. I don't want to keep talking to you about what the money is for UK fights.
That's comedy.
The money for UK fights. Gervonta Davis for his last 5 fights has had $5 million gates. Tyson Fury has never had a $5 million gate.
The gate doesn't necessarily mean you made the
Man,
most
shut
money.
up. It's how
Come on.
much money you make, dude.
He made
The
50,
gate. The gate.
there was a
Man,
15
shut up. I
million.
don't want to talk to somebody with a brain. Be quiet. Gervonta Davis has $5 million gates. That gate, that $5 million gate is a bigger gate than any of Tyson Fury's gates, other than the ones that
False.
took place. Other than, dog, I'm going to kick you out, period, if you keep talking over me. You do not make as much money. Tyson Fury's name is nowhere near the top gates in boxing history. He doesn't make the top 10. Gervonta Davis did. Gervonta Davis has $5 million gates. $5 million gates, and he does 250,000 pay-per-views at $900 at $90 a pop, bro.
Thank you,
There
Rick
is no
Tims and
question.
Skywalker.
Man, shut up, you fucking clown. And Skywalker, get out of my fucking life, bozo. I'm gonna sit here and teach you, bro. Okay, I'm gonna sit here and teach you because I've been telling you morons this for a while. Not you, blood. You're not a moron. Gervonta Tank Davis's ringside seats for Ryan Garcia were running at about $5,000. The gate was over 23 million. The biggest gate ever in the UK, the biggest gate ever in the UK was less than 10. And that was that was not Tyson Fury. It was Anthony Joshua versus Vladimir Klitschko. That's the biggest fight that's taken place in UK history. And Gervonta Davis's fights against Hector Garcia were doing around the same gate. The pay-per-views for Anthony Joshua. Now, what Anthony Joshua made his money on was sponsorships. Anthony Joshua made a ton of money in sponsorships. Anthony Joshua, and I don't even know if, really, I'm surprised that you're not mentioning Anthony Joshua, because I don't know Tyson Fury to be a bigger name fighter than Anthony Joshua is. The reason that that they're going over there to the UK is because Tyson Fury's not pulling revenue like that in the UK. And I've been telling y'all for years about that. As soon as Anthony Joshua got big, what happened to him? He left the UK because you're not making a bunch of money in that domestic market because the prices for the pay-per-views are cut in half. I mean, cut in a third, and the price for the tickets are cut in a 10th. That's why Floyd Mayweather Jr. never went to the UK to fight. That's why Canelo Alvarez doesn't go to the UK to fight. And for this moron G King, for you to sit here and say that you think for a second that Tyson Fury is a bigger name and making more than Canelo, man, you believe that. You believe in that bullshit hype. You believe in that Kanye West is a billionaire hype. Go ahead, blood or idiot, whichever, blood or the idiot. You can talk. Go ahead and respond to that.
Hey, man, listen, man, I don't want to come in between what you and King got going on here, man. But you know, I think Tyson Fury is definitely the biggest star over there in ESPN. I forgot about it.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
He ain't no superstar either, though.
Hell no.
None of these guys are no superstars, man. But you know, I got to give it to Fury though. He did all right, man. He's made a pretty good name for himself. I don't want to totally shit on him, man, because you know he came over here to America. He fought Deontay Wilder twice. He got involved in the WWE. He's doing some fucking rodeo show right now with this whatever this MMA guy is. I forget his name, but you know he's made a pretty good amount of money for him. He did well for himself, man. I'm not gonna totally shit on him or nothing like that.
I'm not shitting on him either. He's done very well. But you're
Yeah,
talking
you
about Canelo. You're talking about
think you can
Canelo.
fuck with Canelo, but I think it's up for the debate with the Tank Davis thing, though.
Man,
local level. I think it's up for debate.
I don't see why it's up for debate. Because there is no fight, that because the biggest fight that Tyson Fury's ever been involved of did half of what Gervonta did. He did half.
Well, he had 2 of them fights, and 3 of them actually.
He had to do, but it did half. So 2 of them may catch up with Gervonta. 2 of them may catch up with Gervonta.
Overall, though, Tyson Fury done made more money than
man. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know, and I don't think so, bro. Okay. Gervonta Davis, when Gervonta,
I ain't gonna argue with you, big bro. I ain't gonna argue with you. Man.
Let me tell you, I can't speak about what type of money has been earned outside the ring, but I know for sure, at least 4 fights ago, when somebody said that I made, so I guess I can't remember. Somebody got like a maybe like $15 million or something like that for something that happened and took place really quick, like a car race or something. And they were like, man, who makes $14 million for 36 seconds of work, or like for 40 minutes of work? And Gervonta Davis said, I do. Gervonta Davis has been said he makes over $15 million a fight. He said that 5 fights ago. And he just got something dangerously close to $50 million, $60 million in his last fight. Dude, Gervonta Davis, dude.
Nah, you said that we can't believe them numbers all the time. So we don't really know. I mean,
you can believe these. So let's believe these numbers. That's what. Let's tell you the numbers that we can believe, that we know are true. Okay. The gate. Your buffoon friend G King called this.
That's my boy right there. King is my boy now.
No, he's got a brother. First of all, King is a buffoon, and your friend. Listen to what this dude says. This is what people like King.
You've been wrong about Showtime, Crawford. There's so many things. Fulton Jr. Like you've been.
I was wrong about Fulton Jr. What was I wrong about with Fulton Jr.?
Like your picks.
I picked Fulton Jr. to lose. Shut your clown ass up.
It's just
shut your bozo lying ass up, dude. Shut your bozo lying ass up. No, I'm not gonna put your lies on pause, bro. Put your lies on pause. I picked Monster Inoue to win that fight. Shut up, bozo. Only thing we know for sure is that, listen to what this moron Rick Glazier said. Rick Glazier says, and this is what you bozos believe, Gervonta Davis only did 45,000 pay-per-views, 61,000 pay-per-views. It was a flop. Yeah, but he got a $5 million gate. Yeah, he's an anomaly. He's the only person in boxing history where people want to fly into the city, sell out a stadium, and pay thousands of dollars for a ticket, but they won't buy his pay-per-view. We don't know what the actual pay-per-view numbers are because they're never released truly by anybody. But we do know what the gates are because the gates are public information. And Gervonta Davis has $5 million gate after $5 million gate after $5 million gate after $5 million gate. He has sellout after sellout after sellout after sellout after sellout.
Do you know how much Gervonta made against Hector Garcia?
Shut up. Oh, how much did he make? $1 million?
Against Hector Garcia.
How much did he make?
No more than $5 million.
Oh, no more than $5 million. How much did he make?
I'm asking you.
No, I'm asking you. You said he made no more than $5 million. That's not a number. How much did he make?
$5 million.
You don't know that, you lying sack of shit. Why you sit up here lying? You see what your boy's doing to your blood?
I can tell you how much.
Man, you know, I mean, he making some pretty good points, bro.
No, he's not.
Good points.
Blood.
He is. He's making some good points, bro.
Blood.
Blood.
Blood. Why?
I'm always gonna keep it real. I think King making some good
keep it
points,
real.
bro.
Hey, Blood, is $5 million a real number?
Man,
It's 5 million.
If
you say I don't know how much money he made,
I don't know.
Then how in the world do you know whether it's over $5 million or not, Blood? You don't know.
I don't know if any of these. I don't even believe the gate numbers. They
then
lied
you
about
have to
the
believe
gate
the gate
with
numbers.
Ollie. Floyd Patterson won.
No.
The media lied with the gate on
No.
that. I don't really know. They've been lying about gate numbers.
Nah,
too,
bro.
man.
The state of Nevada did not lie about the numbers. The state of Nevada releases the numbers.
Just for the gate.
The state releases the numbers. So we know what the gate is. And if you use the gate and look at other people's gates and compare their gate to his gate, and you extrapolate forward, you get a sense.
I can debunk
up,
this.
dog. Shut up. Dude, shut up. You're just gonna lie, dog.
It's
funny, Sunday. Man. Look, dude, it's Sunday morning, bro. It's Sunday morning.
You don't.
What are you? Are you Muslim?
Got a nigga dying right here, boy.
Are you Muslim?
Yeah, I am, but
you're Muslim. Okay, so I don't know what your day is celebrate. I don't know what your day, what the particular day is that you got that Muslims focus.
We pray every day.
Yo, well, us Christians, we don't give a shit till Sunday. So stop lying on the Lord's day.
Just my
okay.
Last
no, dude. Stop. I'm telling you, stop. I am a Christian. Stop lying on the Lord's day. Stop lying on the Lord's day.
My last point. That's
you don't ever make your first fucking point. You've been lying ever since you got here.
Let me just say one more thing, brother.
No. When you say only one more thing, I know you're gonna troll. Dog, stop. Say something without a lie in it.
Okay. Tyson Fury against Francis Ngannou will make $50 million. Against Derek Chisora, he made over $20 million.
He will make it. $50 million. He will.
He's going to make $50 million against Derek Chisora.
Gervonta Davis made $500 million against Ryan Garcia. And for his fight against Isaac Cruz, he's going to make another $350 million.
Against Deontay Wilder, he made $20 million plus in each fight. Against Dillian Whyte, he made $33 million, the record highest bid.
Against Gervonta Davis against Jose Pedraza, he made $750 billion.
It was the record highest bid against Dillian Whyte.
It was the record out there. Gervonta Davis's payday against Rolly Romero was $350 million.
But I'm not lying. You can.
But yes, you are lying. But yes, you are lying because you don't know any of that to be true.
The highest bid ever taken for a purse bid is Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury, in which he made $34 million.
No. But Gervonta Davis never goes to purse bid.
Oh my God.
Gervonta Davis never goes to purse bid because his opponents all make $55 to $60 million every time they fight.
What mandatories has Gervonta Davis fought?
Gervonta Davis fought Rolly Romero, who was a mandatory, and it didn't go to purse bid.
They work for the same damn promotional company.
No, it doesn't. It's still a mandatory challenge, and Rolly Romero made $88 billion in the fight. I can say any shit that you just like me. I can say any shit that drops points across my mind to support my argument, you bozo.
It's a fact.
Nah, man, it is saying here on Google that Tyson Fury made $30 million for Dillian Whyte.
It says it on Google.
It's saying on Google.
It says it on Google.
I just looked it up just now, bro.
On Google. It says it on Google.
I'm just saying though, bro.
I know you just saying.
I'm not saying that I believe it, but man,
hey, who wrote the article?
Getting the numbers from?
Who wrote the article? Who wrote the article?
I don't know. He's getting it from Google, man.
Yeah, I know you're getting it from Google. I can get all kind of shit out of Google, bro. I can get all kind of shit out of Google. I know this. I know this. Hey, whose top fight generates the most money in ticket sales?
I don't care. Whoever makes the most money.
I don't care that you don't care, dog. Who generates the most money from ticket sales? Gervonta Tank Davis or Tyson Fury? It's Gervonta Davis. And the only numbers that we actually know are the ticket sales. That's the only ones we actually know about. So since I don't want to deal with you and your fantasy land swoop bang bullshit, I'm going to go off the ticket sales because that's the only real numbers we have. And since Tank has the highest numbers on the only thing we actually know about, we're going to go with that. Because according to you, Tyson Fury makes more money than Floyd Mayweather.
I didn't say that. I would say.
Why not? Why not? You said he made $50 million. He made $50 million in his fight. Do you know that there are fights? $50 million is more than Canelo makes.
That's why I told you he's making.
So he makes more money than Canelo. You're a liar.
For this
You're
year.
stupid. If you believe that bullshit coming out of that, you're full of. You're
Listen,
crazy.
bro, Canelo had 2 fights.
I'm not listening to shit because Bob Arum himself said that Tyson Fury's contract was not worth $100 million. He said it himself.
Bob Arum said Tyson Fury will make $200 million for Usyk.
Bob Arum
also,
first of all, Bob Arum also said when he signed the contract with Tyson Fury that he's currently in, that it is not $100 million contract, that he would have to go well beyond his targets to get anywhere near that. And then Bob Arum later said, oh yeah, he makes $100 million. Just like Bob Arum has said in the past, yesterday I was lying, today I'm telling the truth. But blood boxing, is it true or not true that Bob Arum is on record saying yesterday I was lying, but today I'm telling the truth?
Yeah, he said that.
Who said
But you know what, Fanon, I looked it up and all kind of articles that Tyson $50 million for this thing.
All kind of articles do, right?
There you go.
All kind of articles.
It's like 20
All kind of articles do. Yeah, all kind of articles do. All kind of articles written by who? Do you see Forbes magazine? Do you think Forbes is true?
You'll see him at the end of the year on it. So we'll see.
They pay to let me tell you, man. They pay to get on. They pay people.
Everything is fake now. Everything's fake. A fraud.
First of all, no, you're a fraud. However, there is many people that look at the Forbes magazine and be like, "What?"
But not me and blood on your neck, man.
Nigga, you're on my. First of all,
hey, King,
you're on my nuts. Right here now. King, you're on my. First of all,
every Sunday.
First of all, blood is not on my neck. Blood is trolling your ass, and you're on my nuts. But let's move forward to this. So when they say the net worth of somebody on Forbes magazine, does that make it true?
Nah, man, I'm just that's all.
Nah, man, let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you what we're not gonna do. We're not gonna sit up here and let you keep lying. Okay? You don't know that those numbers are true.
Everything I've said, it's all online. You can look it up, bro.
I don't care if it's online. There's a lot of shit online. See,
you're gonna do this thing where you're like, everything's online. We don't know.
No, let's go with what we know is true. We know what the gates are. We know that. Because those are verified by a government organization responsible for counting them. We know those. That's what we know. A promoter's job is to tell you exactly what it is that they want you to think about their fighter. Bob Arum telling you how much money that his fighters are going to make by working with him is not something that you can take at face value because it's in his interest to exaggerate. I know that you're very familiar with that concept because you guys accuse PBC fighters of doing that all the time. Yeah. All the time. Why should I believe it? Because it's in their interest to say it. But you want to believe that Bob Arum is paying that Bob. You want to believe Bob Arum,
brother.
You want to be Bob Arum, and you want to believe people that.
I didn't say nothing about Bob Arum.
Shut up, dude. Seriously, man. You're probably not going to come back here. Okay?
I got you on this conversation, bro.
You don't have me on. What do you have me on?
I got you. Gervonta is not bigger than Tyson Fury.
He's not. He's not bigger than Tyson Fury.
I literally told you how much.
How much does this fight generate?
Tyson Fury's made in his last 5 fights. It's over $150 million.
Dude, you do not know that. What are your sources for that?
You can go online, do your research.
What's your sources
it's
for that?
It's a fact that Tyson.
What's your source for that?
Dillian White
source for that?
At a record high purse bid. It's a fact. You can.
It's a purse bid, you fucking clown.
You can ask the. WBC.
Hold on. It's a fact. It's a fact because there's a record high purse bid.
You can ask the WBC.
Oh, excuse me, you fucking moron. So since he had a record high purse bid, then that means that he is a bigger fighter than Gervonta Davis. Well, if he had a record high purse bid, that means he had a higher purse bid than Floyd Mayweather.
Okay. Yeah.
So that means
I
he's
can
a big
debunk that
fighter.
too. Go
Nah,
ahead.
shut up, you fucking you shut
Go
up, you
ahead, I'll
fucking
debunk
idiot.
that. I
Shut
know
up, you
it's
fucking idiot. And Blood, I need you to be
What
honest.
you was gonna call him for now?
Blood, you fucking know how I'm gonna call him. Nah, Blood, I need you to be. I need before I throw your ass out. Before I throw his ass out of here.
No, don't
I
throw
need
out King, man.
I need
Come
for you to
on,
be.
man.
I need for you to be 100% honest. Blood, I need you to be 100% honest.
All right.
Without letting this, I need you to be 100% honest.
Okay.
If it is true that because Tyson Fury had a record high purse bid, that means he's a bigger name fighter than Gervonta Davis because he had a record high purse bid, then it wouldn't it also be true that he's a bigger name fighter than Floyd because he had a bigger purse bid than Floyd ever had? Wouldn't that also be true?
They ain't no bigger than Floyd.
Thank you.
Don't think the
That's
person.
not my point.
Stop. Please. Because I want to be dead serious for a second here. I want to be dead fucking serious for a minute. This jokey joke shit is starting to piss me off. And I mean it. I'm letting you on my channel, King, but I'm being dead fucking serious right now. You cannot say and giggle off the fact that shit you just said was fucking ridiculous. Now giggle the fuck at that. You cannot be bigger than Gervonta Davis because you have a record high purse bid, but not at the same time also be bigger than Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao, who also didn't have purse bids that big.
You didn't let me finish, brother.
I don't give a fuck that I didn't let you finish. Because the shit's annoying. You're a fucking buffoon that's laughing. I don't have patience for that. All you're doing is just wasting my time talking a bunch of nonsense about shit you don't know. And what we originally talked about was collectively that the PBC has more big names than Top Rank does. So you bring up one fucking person that may be on the list and lead the whole conversation down your fucking buffoonery. I don't have patience for this dumb shit. I want to talk serious boxing with serious people. And if y'all are just going to keep giggling about this shit and bringing up any type of fucking stupidity, you can fuck off and go away. And I'll talk to somebody that's serious. You're not serious. You're a fucking clown. And I'm being very, very serious about it. Okay. You don't know what you say to be true. Okay, now, you can make any other point that you want to make before I put you off. I don't like it. I'm telling you, Blood, I don't like it.
I know. Listen,
because it's a bunch of fucking buffoonery.
Well, I didn't mean to make you upset, so.
I don't fucking like buffoonery, bro, and you're a fucking buffoon. Are you a serious person or are you a clown?
Yeah, I apologize for upsetting.
No, don't apologize. You let me know what you are. Are you a serious person? Are you a serious person who wants to talk boxing? Or are you just a fucking buffoon?
No, I'm
one
serious.
or the other. Pick which one is going to be, bro.
I'm serious, yeah.
You're then be fucking serious.
Well, let me make
I don't feel like dancing around. I don't feel like dancing around for half an hour with you making up bullshit after bullshit after bullshit for giggles. I don't. The subject matter was whether or not the PBC has more big name fighters than Top Rank does. So if I grant to you that Tyson Fury is a bigger name than Errol Spence or some of the other fighters, fine. Now name another Top Rank fighter.
We have no argument then, brother. That's all.
No, we don't have a top. We never did have an argument.
You saying Gervonta Davis is bigger than Fury?
We never did.
Outrageous.
We never did have an argument because your statement is buffoonery. Only numbers that we know that are true are the gate. That's the only number we have. And it doesn't matter the rumors that you're going to get in a guarantee from Saudi Arabian billionaires because they didn't get more money than Anthony Joshua got.
They did.
And you're not bringing up Anthony Joshua's name as being bigger names than those guys. That is a one-off payment. That's a one-off payment that you don't even know, and you don't even know what it is. Because guess what? Alexander Usyk and Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury fight has not he's not even been made yet. So you can't point to how much Tyson Fury will make.
Okay.
Because the fight hasn't taken place yet.
I agree.
Is there
with that,
anything intelligent that you want to say?
No, man. I mean, that's it, man. I didn't.
No, man, that's it. There's nothing serious that you want to say.
I was just telling you that Fury is a bigger star than Gervonta, Spence, Wilder. Maybe not Canelo. I think maybe this year.
And I think that you're absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, but that's how.
I know you say that. And I'm telling you, there's absolutely nothing concrete that you can point to. Concrete to support that.
No worries, man. I mean,
how big a star you are is how the bigger star that you make is determined on how much money your fights make. Mm-hmm. Not how much money people lose on you.
You can look at that too, and Tyson Fury will still be bigger.
When you look at how big a movie star is, you look at how big how much money the motion pictures make. How much the motion pictures make.
You can use that number, and Tyson is still bigger.
Not how much money they lost.
Yeah, you can look at that, and Tyson Fury will still be bigger.
Don't look at that. When you look at a fight, when you look at a movie, and you say, hey, Tom Cruise is going to be in this movie. How do you know how big a star he is? You know how big a star he is because of how many people pay to watch the movie. If he is in a fight, if he's in a movie, Tom Cruise is in a movie where they pay him $100 million, but nobody goes to see the movies, you know what they say? They say his star is dropping and he's losing money. He's no longer a big star. He just got big guarantees. You are successful. Boxers are successful based on how much money the fights generate. You can be a big superstar and get underpaid because of how many. A star is related to the people. It's related to the people that watch you and the people that want to see you. There are stars that are dead broke, young man. Big stars, musical stars that are famous all over the world. But if they have a contract where the money's not going to them, the money's going to their manager, is the manager the star? No, he's just the musician is the star. The musician's the star, isn't he?
Right.
If Michael Jackson gets ripped off of all of his money, was he still not the star? Yes.
Right.
And why was he the star? He was the star because his albums sold and people bought them. So why should we have any different rule for a boxer? Why would we say that somebody that's selling all the tickets that people are coming to see is not the star when a guy that doesn't sell the tickets just got a bigger payday?
Tyson Fury doesn't sell tickets. Okay.
I didn't say he didn't. Tyson Fury is a star. But you're disrespectful to Gervonta Davis and what Gervonta Davis is accomplished.
Everybody on PBC, maybe for Canelo, but that's close too.
Excuse me. You're disrespectful. You're very disrespectful, Canelo, to thinking Tyson Fury is anywhere near him.
I'm saying he might make more money than him this year.
Excuse me. I don't care what logic you have. For you to say Tyson Fury is anywhere near what Canelo Alvarez is disrespectful to Canelo Alvarez. It's just disrespectful to the man. Because that man, for you to say that Tyson Fury is anywhere as close to what Manny Pacquiao was, is disrespectful to Manny Pacquiao.
Just like me and Rick Glazer told you, Showtime will be going down. I'm telling you, Tyson Fury.
You and Rick Glazer told me, you know what you guys told me? You told me that Showtime was going out of business last year in 2022. It didn't.
2023, end of the year. It's in the tweets.
It didn't. So what?
It's a record.
So what?
We were right.
What does that have to do with whether or not Tyson Fury is a bigger name than Canelo Alvarez? Because a broken idiotic clock is right twice a day. I can tell you that I was right about 50 things. What is the relevance
These
to
are
the
some major issues, major perspectives?
You're telling me that the fact that you said something that a whole bunch of other people said, that means you're right? about this? Because you were right about something else makes you right about this?
You'll see on the Forbes
No,
list.
the Forbes list is not real.
Okay.
Because you were right about something, because you were right about one thing, that makes you right about everything else.
I don't think I'm right about everything, no.
So then since you don't think that you're right about everything, why should I be thinking that you're right about this?
You don't have to. I'm just giving you my opinion,
because you were right about something else.
I'm just giving you my opinion, brother.
Man, dude, you keep bringing up a bunch of nonsense. Why are you, because you were right about which you weren't right about, when you were right about something else, why does it mean you're right about this?
It doesn't. It just means
So
you've been wrong a lot.
Since it doesn't, then what are you bringing it up for?
You've been wrong a lot, man.
Since it does, I mean, what's a lot?
Like I mentioned, like with the whole Terence Crawford.
You've been wrong.
Showtime.
What was I wrong about with Terence Crawford? I said he could win the fight. I said he could win the fight. I guess I was right. Because I said he could. I said, I think Errol Spence will win, but I know full well Terence Crawford can win that fight. So I guess I was right then.
You played that safe after that Fulton beatdown.
Excuse me. I said Monster Inoue was going to beat Fulton. That's what I said. I predicted Monster Inoue would beat him. I was right about that. I said Monster Inoue was going to win that fight. So what was I wrong about? I said Monster Inoue was going to win the fight, and he won. I said Terence Crawford could win against Errol Spence Jr., and he did. So what's the next thing that I was wrong about?
Man, I don't want to hold your conversation with
you don't because you don't have anything. You can't tell me I was wrong about Terence Crawford because I said he could win the fight. I said it was a 50-50 fight. I would lean towards Errol. You tried to bet me money, and I turned you down. I took the bet. I didn't take the bet. Was I right about not betting you?
I don't necessarily mean the fight. Everything surrounding Terence Crawford.
Hammering
of Terence Crawford that you did.
You tried to bet me money. You tried to.
I'm talking about the names and the name calling.
You tried to bet me money. And I said no. Was I right about that? Was I right to tell you no? Yes. So since I was right about that, then maybe I'm right about this too. Right? Since I was right about that, then I guess I'm right about this.
I already told you I don't think that.
You don't think I was right not to bet you? I was right not to bet you.
I said if you're right about one thing, that doesn't mean you're right about everything.
So then stop telling me that since you were right about Showtime going out of business, that means that you're right about this.
I'm just saying there's a lot of things.
You're just saying a lot of stuff, bro. Fuck out of my face, clown. You right or you wrong about a lot of stuff. Anyway, blood, sorry about that.
It's all good, man.
Nah, man, I got a pet peeve. Morons giggling at me. I don't like it. But anyway, where were we, bro? We were wanting to move towards the seat at the table conversation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. So Terence Crawford, there were some tweets that went out, and I think Ryan Garcia might have started it up. And Terence Crawford answered Ryan Garcia and said that, that people got to work together. No, it was between him and Oscar De La Hoya. Because I don't have Twitter, so I don't quite remember how the order of the tweets. But at one point, Terence Crawford told Oscar De La Hoya that, hey, in order for this to work, we're going to have to pull up a chair to the table. And in my opinion, first of all, I didn't hear nothing that was beneficial towards the fans in that interaction because it still sounded like, was more about Terence Crawford to me. But I think that a fighter can sit at the table, but I don't think all fighters could sit at the table, right? I think that now in what capacity they sit at the table, that's a different discussion. But I do think that you have to earn a spot at the table. So if you're a big-time fighter like a Floyd Mayweather or Oscar De La Hoya, these guys, they wanted a seat at the table. They went and they formed their own promotional outfits and things like that. But I think only certain fighters should be allowed to really sit in the negotiations. Other than that, I was listening to your show the other day, Fanon, and you said that they got to spend some time training and they got to there's other things that fighters should be more concerned about. And I do agree with that. But I think that once a fighter reaches a certain status, then I think that maybe, hey, yeah, maybe they could pull a chair up then, right? Other than that, they need to concentrate on their craft. So I partially agreed with that. And Terence Crawford, I think he's in a pretty good place to where he wants his chair at the table. That's what he did with Errol Spence. He was hard to deal with during negotiations. I think he got some of what he wanted, but all fighters can't sit at the table. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, like my thing is that first, I'm big on defining words. Like, what does it mean to sit at the table? Like, if you in your mind, you're literally saying, let me sit at the table and I want to be there while you talk to the network, while this, like, I need to specifically speak myself to all of the parties involved. Anybody that needs to do that in the position of a fighter is if you're your own manager, if you're really running your own show, you're not very good at running your own show if you need to do that. I don't think it's smart for Terence Crawford to do that. I think it's a bad move for him. And I think that it can go from, like, you can move from a boxer, right, who relies. Let me read these super chats, man, because thank y'all for supporting the channel. Keith Nolan 2211 said Tyson Fury will not make anywhere near the amount of money Tank Davis or Canelo made this year. Shut up, liar. It is so obvious on his face, man. I mean, that shit, dude. And I'm telling you, blood, on this point, bro, there's no way there's no way Tyson Fury's making more money than that, man. No way. That's what you call, that's just media hype. You remember when like you point to the Forbes list? They point to the Forbes list, and they say this is how much this guy made. Dude, people that are on the Forbes list will constantly say, man, when did I get all that money? Like, they'll be like, I made how much money? When am I going to see any of that? You have, who Chad Johnson is, the receiver?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Chad Johnson, they on the internet, they put out his net worth. And they said his net worth was like, I don't know, 3.5 million. And just to throw out a number. And Chad Johnson was on a thing. He's like, man, I saw, it's like, my network is what? He said, my network is 3.5 million. He was like, man, I got that in the bank. He's like, I got way more than that in the bank. How in the world is my network that low? He said, net worth is like all of your properties, all of everything. It's not just how much money you got on hand. It's your worth of your properties, of your jewelry, your cars, everything that you own, minus your expenses.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Fanon.
Yes, sir.
The net worth on the internet, are you saying that that's pretty much just a bunch of bogus
garbage?
Stuff, pretty much?
Yeah, because they don't have any clue.
If that's your belief, man, then you have no reason not to feel that, because I've looked at some net worths before too and thought to myself, like, wow, I don't know if that's true or not.
Bro, to have somebody's net worth, net means what's remaining, right? So you have all of the money that you have, and then whatever it is, everything that's profitable to you, your houses are worth money, your cars are worth money, unless you're in the hole and you owe more money than the car is worth, right? So you have a car and your car is, you owe $100,000 on your car and the car itself is worth $50,000. You're $50,000 out of your net worth, right? That's all. You're $50,000 in the hole. So if you have $100,000, say you got $100,000 in a bank and you got $150,000 worth of debt, you're not worth $150,000. You're worth minus $50,000. Because after everything that you own is liquidated, you are in the hole. It's possible.
I think where King is getting the numbers from, because, like, for instance, on the internet, it says Tyson Fury has a net worth of 165 million. It says Tank Davis has a net worth of 10 million. So that's where he's getting that stuff from. But I'm not saying I believe it. Because I respect you so much and I know you're so intelligent, I listen to everything you say. So I will definitely consider whatever you tell me.
Watch this. In order for Tyson Fury to, if you give me the name of the resource,
Okay.
that number came. If it's a magazine cannot. Just think about this, blood. A magazine cannot audit your bank accounts. They don't know your creditors. They don't know who owes you money. They don't know who you owe money to. They're not going around and taking an evaluation of your product. All they're doing is listening to what somebody told them. That's it. And Tyson Fury has a public relations person. And the public relation person can say, hey, we want an article that's going to put Tyson Fury's name in the media. So we want to market him. So they go to Fortune magazine and they say, hey, Fortune, we think Tyson Fury should be on your list. Well, how much is his net worth? Oh, his net worth is $150 million. Okay. Where did this money come from? Oh, it comes from his endorsements, his purse, his property. And yeah, these are the numbers.
So basically it's just word of mouth, some word of mouth.
Yeah, it's public relations. Okay. It's PR.
I believe you, Fanon.
Yeah, that's how that works. And here's another thing. It also works for other people in their money that don't want to tell you how much money they have.
Okay.
You have, when they say that certain people are worth certain amounts of money, dog, a lot of these people with a ton of money ain't going to tell you how much money they have because they're filing taxes. And when they file the taxes and they're paying their taxes, they want their net worth to be lower. So they will distribute their property amongst family. They're not trying. The people that are saying that they have all of this money. First of all, that's a public relations person telling you. They're telling you that because they want you. So they want people like King to get excited. Ooh, like for example, for example, do you see
excited? That's for damn sure.
Yeah, they do it because look how much money my guy's worth more money, and it starts this conversation about how much more money. If Gervonta Davis's net worth is $10 million, that is somebody estimating, or that's what, or if they ask him, that's much he told them. But Gervonta Davis may be like, look, man, I don't want people to know how much money I got. I don't want people to know how much money that I got. And the PBC generally doesn't do that. They're not putting out they're not paying people, public relations people, to go tell a bunch of stories about them. Tyson Fury is selling books. He's selling books. He's doing celebrity shows. He's doing all kind of stuff, trying to keep his name out in front. And for example, did you notice when Terence Crawford, I'm going to tell you, man, Terence Crawford, after this next fight, you can expect to see him up there with a net worth of $500 million. Like, why? Because CAA says, hey, look, this is how we're going to market you. We're going to make this impression of you making all this money because, when it looks like you got all this money, people want to deal with you. Like, you know how those rappers and all stuff got all that chains and they're doing the rap. They're talking about the big mansions that they have and all of that.
Yeah, I never believed none of that.
Yeah, but what happens later? They'd be like, man, please, that's all leased. The house is leased. The car is leased. Like the house is leased, the car house, the jewelry is leased. You don't know if any of that stuff is true. And Keith Note said, God, dear God, blood, please don't encourage him. Man, please. Encouraging the shit out of him, talk. But
that was fun until Fanon got mad, and then I put myself on mute.
No, seriously, man. I got a serious pet peeve with idiots giggling at me. I don't like it. I'll tell you, I get pissed with that shit because that dude was a fucking moron. And I mean that
big brother mad at me now. I ain't gonna troll the big brother now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, man. Yeah. I'm sorry about that, dog. Because I wasn't talking to you. I'm talking to that idiot. Yeah, I got heated. I don't like that shit.
I still chuckled a little bit, but I put it on mute though.
Yeah, I heard you, man. It don't really bother me like that. Hey, what's going on? Mike Kirkland said for the show. Thank you, brother, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, I did get heated. You said I'm a giggle. Hey, dog, seriously, man. I don't like to be talked down to. I don't like that shit. From a clown like this, he is stone cold racist, bro. That dude, that's my impression.
When it comes to it, he's just a youngster, man, and the youngster should always respect their elders. I think he's trying to respect you, though, Fanon. I'm being real. I do think he's trying his best to be respectful to you, though. I'm just telling the truth, man. I don't
you're not because of the way you're phrasing it.
You're doing it in a troll.
Your speech pattern I don't know.
Condescending. I mean, but still, though, I think he's trying in this condescending type way to be respectful.
No, the dude said he knows I ate a hamburger last night. He said, I know that you ate a hamburger last night. He doesn't know that, blood.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. You're right.
Okay, so come on, man. I'm a serious person, man. If you like, for example, bro, I'm not about to do some shit like this, bro. Like, let's talk about the 1970s welterweights.
Now that's when I get mad. That's when I get the way you was just a second ago.
And I just start making shit up. You know what I'm saying?
I get pissed off real quick. You know I would too.
No, see, I don't like that shit. Yeah. I don't like it, man. And plus, man, look, I know Tyson. I think Tyson Fury it's a lot of hype with Tyson Fury. I believe there's a lot of hype with Tyson Fury. There's
definitely some hype there.
He's not in the ring though, because that dude can fight his ass off.
He can fight, man.
He can fight.
We won't find out till he fights Usyk. That's when we'll really see what it's all about. Because this Ngannou thing, I don't know what to think about that. I know I won't be buying it. I know that.
No joke, bro. Gunther Man said that was a loaded question about the hamburger man because he matched your energy with that one. That's not a loaded question, Gunther. Do you know what a loaded question is? That's not a loaded question. A loaded question is when you put something in the question. Like if I said, hey, tell me the truth, blood. When you slap that woman in the mouth, you are mad. You are mad when you slap that woman in the mouth, weren't you?
That's a loaded question. Yes.
That's a loaded question.
Yes.
Because first of all, you can't say yes or no because you can say I never smacked the woman.
Because you're already accusing me of smacking the woman in the mouth.
Exactly. That's a loaded question. When I say, do you know what hamburger I ate last night? That's just exposing the logic that there are things that he believes that he does not know.
See, with Fanon, y'all have to be real blunt with him. Like if you say you're going to pull a chair up to the table, you have to say in what capacity. You have to go through all of that stuff with Fanon. You know, he's always been like that.
All right, dog. I'm telling you that's because cats want to get that because people want to try to get W's, but they want to cheat.
When it comes to wordplay, Fanon is the king. He's the king of that shit.
The wordplay? Oh, yeah, it's called to speaking.
Yeah, you got it. You got it there, man. I can't.
I don't like that because I'm not playing that. I'm not playing the games with you. I'm not playing the games myself. Not those games. I stay away from you with that history, bro. Like this dude. He got me one time. Don't believe this 4-0. But he got me once. He did. T. Orlando got me. Honest to God, he got me. Because I slipped.
Because he has the vocabulary and things like that to get with you and some stuff, man. So
No, this is what he did. No. Trust me. He didn't get that. That ain't it. That ain't it. I just made a mistake. I made a mistake because I was talking about a legal term in a way where I wanted to communicate something. But then he gave me the strict legal definition of the word, and I couldn't debate him. So talking to him, I just had to admit you're right. And then I did it. I just said, you're right. I'm trying to communicate this, but to the point that you made, you're 100% correct. There is such thing as a material term. There is such thing as an immaterial term. There is such thing as an immaterial term. And it's something that is not, but the definition of it is it's not material if you don't need it to enforce the contract. When I meant that it's not material in the sense, there's nothing immaterial in the sense that it's not important to the enforcement of it versus whether or not it can be enforced at all and what specifically that you're going to enforce about the contract. So it's everything in there is important and it has an effect. But there you got you with the merger clause too. No, you didn't. You didn't get me with the merger clause, bro. You took that L on that merger clause. But whatever, don't worry about it, brother. T. Orlando, you know, no, not the merger clause. I got you with the merger clause. I countered your merger clause with something else. I can't remember what it was. I think it was like acquiescence. I think I countered your murder clause with an acquiescence. So, but anyway, forgot about that one too. Undefeated troll. But T. Orlando Pearson is, you know, I will admit my my, what do you call it? My second rate. I am not on T. Orlando's level with the enforcement of the law. I'll just tell you, he's my superior when it comes to the interpretation, the enforcement of the law. I'm second fiddle to T. Orlando Pearson. I am. I'll lay it down, but unless any of you both
really, I can't believe I'm hearing Fanon say this. Right?
Oh, absolutely, do yeah. T. Orlando Pearson. First of all, he's a legal professor. Number one, so he teaches people these concepts. Two, he is a federal litigator with years of experience and on his way to be a partner at a law firm in Atlanta. I know full well T. Orlando Pearson. Talking to T. Orlando Pearson is kind of like, you know, like, man, how can I say? It's like you all talking to me about this boxing.
Well, a guy like T. Orlando usually charges money for people to talk to him.
Oh, $450 an hour. Yeah, let me put it this way. It cost him about $450 worth of his time to beat me. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, he's a former college professor. Yeah, but you're still a professor. Doesn't matter. Former, current, former, you're always a professor, brother. If you're at that level, you're at that level, brother, you're at that level. And I'm always going to tip my hat to T. Orlando Pearson. Okay? Because T. Orlando Pearson also proves that I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So the reason why I enjoy the conversations with T. Orlando is so that any one of you other bozos that want to act like I don't know what I'm talking about, y'all can't talk to T. Orlando Pearson about that. T. Orlando Pearson, would you or would you not say that I have more than sufficient understanding of legal theory? T. Orlando Pearson, and don't lie on me, would you say that I have an adequate understanding of legal theory, more so than your average, what you would call your layman?
You say you all right.
You say you all right. You say you all right. Yeah. Yeah, I am all right. So y'all better stop acting like I'm faking and I don't know what I know, because that dude knows what he ain't. No, seriously. That dude knows, bro. Said more than most. You got that shit right. Way more than most. Howard Law did me a one up, bro. But not on his level, bro. I'll tell you, because I don't practice like that. I got out of law school. I went into business. I understand contracts. I'll tell you what I understand. And I won't tell you things that I don't. I don't tell you things that I don't understand. You know what I mean? This man has been a practicing attorney for over a decade. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So I got to give man his respect.
I respect it.
Yeah, I give man respect. Let's like I give you your respect, bro, and I give you and respect to trainers. But anyway, back to the discussion at hand, bro. When you were talking about 99% is better than 99%. Thank you very much, T. Orlando. Don't put me in the just most. I got 99% of people. You have to be educated and practicing really to fuck with me. But at the end of the day, though, as far as the issue, he said Devin Haney. As far as the issue goes with being at the table, I think this is the problem with what Terence Crawford said.
Okay.
A boxer should get to the point where they're so educated on their business from the people that are around them by asking questions and being and relying upon the experts that they have around them, that they are able to manage their team efficiently. I don't think that you need to be at the table before it's time to be literally at the table. And by at the table, I mean that if they're going to have a meeting to talk about what actually go through the nitty gritties of your deal, I don't think you should be there. I don't think you should. I don't think it's smart to be there. The way that I am right now, or the way that I know people that run the businesses that I've worked for, dude, most times they're not there. For most of the conversations that take place on a day-to-day with the day-to-day operations of their business, they're not there. If they're trying to negotiate, say they're trying to negotiate a new lease, they're not there talking to the leasing agency. They have their director of finance or human resources, whoever's responsible for that they talk to. And they go and they say, okay, tell me what they're going to offer. Tell me what they're going to offer. And then the only real time that they'll talk is say they need to talk to the owner of the building. Then they'll say, hey, man, look, okay, we're having a hard time in this negotiation. Well, look, let me call the owner of the building. Let me call my team is talking to their team, but I know the owner of the building. And I say, hey, man, owner to owner. Look, man, I really want to get this deal done, but your team seems like they're kind of hung up on this. And my team, those guys really can't get past it. What's your thoughts on it? Now, do you remember when Terence Crawford spoke to, and this is where T. Orlando can't touch me. When Terence Crawford said that he called Errol Spence directly and they got on the phone.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's a boss move. That's what bosses do. I promise you, man, I doubt very much that Bob Arum is personally involved in a lot of negotiations for fights. I would bet the majority of that work is done by Todd DeBuff. I would bet that a good amount of it is done by him. Just like Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya is not negotiating every fight contract and all of that. The guy that works for him is. And people usually like to refer to, like say, oh, Oscar De La Hoya is just a figurehead. What's the guy's name that works for him? I can't remember.
The guy that works for Oscar?
Oscar, yeah.
Oh, I definitely don't know.
But he has a guy that's always around him. He negotiates most of the deals. And people are like, oh, Oscar De La Hoya is just a figurehead. And I'm like, no, that's how Oscar De La Hoya is supposed to work. Oscar De La Hoya is not supposed to sit down and talk to you about all that stuff. It's the guy that is the CEO and the day-to-day guy that runs it supposed to talk to you.
It was at one time Richard Schaefer, right?
Yeah, it's like Richard Schaefer. That was Richard Schaefer's job. But see, that even there right there shows what the problem was for Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya allowed Richard Schaefer, and Richard Schaefer was doing the work and talking to Al Heyman. And Richard Schaefer, now either through intention or negligence or inattention, negligence, or on purpose, didn't alarm or inexperience, didn't alarm Anthony Joshua. I mean, didn't alarm Oscar De La Hoya to the fact that these guys were on exclusive managerial contracts and not promotional contracts. And then you also had Golden Boy's legal guy at the time, who was Steven Espinoza. And Steven Espinoza was the one drawing up the contracts I believe at the time. So between Richard Schaefer and Steven Espinoza, those guys were both on Golden Boy's team, and those were the guys that were running the day-to-day while working with Al Heyman, I believe, at the time that they didn't lock him down on all those contracts. Now, whose fault is that? That's not if you looking at it from the point of view of Oscar De La Hoya. That's Oscar De La Hoya's problem, because Oscar De La Hoya did not know how to manage the experts that were with him.
Right.
But if he would have known how to manage them and knew how that was engaged and asked and knew what questions to ask, then he could have prevented that from happening by saying, hold on, man, let me see something. Who is he signed to? Do we promote him? What is our deal with this fighter? Oh, our deal is that really we're going to deal with the manager. Errol, we have a deal with Al Heyman where he's going to send us he's going to send us the fighters, and we're going to do a fight by fight. That's not going to cost. And guess what that means for us? It means we're not going to have to pay them any money, upfront money, to get them into an exclusive promotional deal. So it's going to save us money where we just let them have a managerial deal and we will fight. But we've got a great relationship with Al, and Al's going to send us all our fights because we're on the same network. And then Oscar may have thought to himself, okay, yeah, that works, but not realize what the risk was. The risk is if you ever break from Al takes all the fighter and you're left with nothing. And so if you can't foresee those types of risks talking to your own team, then how are you going to foresee those risks if you're talking directly to Al Heyman? So the reason that there is people around you that sit at the table for you is to protect you. But for you to be an experienced businessman, you have to know to talk to your team and say, what are the risks with this? What's the good for us and what's the risks? Shout out to my lady, Coach Ari, who pointed out a SWOT, right? Strengths, weaknesses. Do you ever did that? Do you ever been involved in like a re-engineering at your job?
Yes.
You ever heard like what a SWOT analysis is?
Yes.
Yeah, you have your strength, weaknesses, and whatever the rest of that is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, does Terence Crawford know how to do that with his own team for every decision that he makes? See, I mean, and that's why I say, like, yes, a fighter, a 22-year-old fighter, a 26-year-old fighter that just knows boxing is probably really not in the position to effectively do that. Not because they don't know, not because they're not intelligent, and not because their interests are not at the table. They have to learn enough about conducting business. But up to a certain point in time, you have to be incubated. Especially these young athletes, they have to be incubated because they first of all, they have to become the product and really learn how to fight. Then they have to get enough experience and do enough deals to really see what's going on. And then they got to have enough personal management skills to be able to manage the people that are around them. Because the bigger your business gets, the more difficult it is going to be to do that. So, but I'll tell you, I would take Kenny Porter's dad showed him contracts early in his career he didn't want to read. His regret. Look, if I had a contract that somebody offered my son has an advantage because he can give me the contract. He can give me the contract, and I can read the contract. Really. Now, if he wants to really be in a good position, he's going to need to go to T. Orlando. If what he's going to want to do is then move to enforce it within a specific jurisdiction. Right. So I'm just saying that. So when I don't have any problem with the essence of what Terence Crawford said. I don't. But I don't think he understands what that means based on the context and based on what he said. Nobody is telling a fighter that you don't need to be there, sit down and shut up and fight. No, you don't need to shut up and fight. But you need a person two people that you can talk to. And you need to be able to ask them questions and to be able to extract all of the important information out, which is what's in it for you and what are your risks, and be able to manage the people around you effectively. You don't need to micromanage them because when you know what it is at the job, Blood.
Absolutely.
If you have a boss, what happens if your boss tries to micromanage you?
Man, it's a problem for me.
Yeah, it tells you what time you need to show up, what you need to say.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, some people you do have to micromanage, but if you know your job, you shouldn't have to go through that. But I'm definitely familiar with the SWOT because that's like strategic planning and stuff like that. So definitely.
And so like when you look, just use that in the concept of a boxing match. Okay, we got a fight offered to us, Terence. It's Jaron Ennis. Okay, well, what are the reasons why I would do it? What are the reasons that I wouldn't do it? Before I make this decision. Well, the money is a reason that I would do it. The risk for the fight is a reason that I wouldn't do it. Right? Just at a very high level. And then you look inside the deal and you say, okay, well, it says here that there's a rematch clause. Why do I want a rematch clause? Well, you want a rematch clause just in case, you may turn your ankle in the fourth round. Mm-hmm. And now if you do it, he doesn't rematch you, you're ass out because of a sprained ankle, right? He hit you, you turned your ankle. That's an injury caused by a punch, right? You are up on the cards, but the injury was caused by a punch, so it's not going to go to the scorecards. You're going to get. So you just want that there for that reason, right? So that's why I'm saying, like, you go through that with your team, and then your team goes and talks to the other team and pushes for it. That's the only thing that I meant when I came out and said, when I was like, look, man, you need good representation in what you do. It's very important. Like, I think one of the biggest strengths Al Heyman has is his ability to do things like Adrian Broner. Remember, like Adrian Broner was saying that Al Heyman was releasing money to him over a period of time.
Absolutely.
Right. That's kind of like a conservatorship, if I'm using the right term. Conservative, like that's not like, I mean, I guess it is kind of a conservatorship, but not a complete conservatorship. It is a portion of it. Basically, he has access to the money, and he says, okay, I have authority to release money from this account to you when you need it, so that you have like a firewall between you and your money. So he's giving this man advice about what he should do with his money and what he should invest it in to allow him to maximize and make decisions that are good for his life overall. And that's something that Al Heyman is very well known for doing. Mm-hmm. How are you going to, like, if you want to be, the Mike say, it's just so many things, so many moving parts, man, that you need teams in your life, man. That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah. I agree with that. There's no doubt about it, man. It's not even up for discussion. That's a fact.
Yes, sir. Well, yeah, I guess we a little short of, let me make sure somebody says something in a private chat. Oh, this dude said Tyson Fury. Yeah, but by the way, is Tyson, do you consider Tyson Fury a top-ranked fighter?
Do I consider him a top-ranked fighter?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was actually a top-ranked fighter. I know he only got involved in top rank after the
he's really a Queensland fighter. He's really a Queensland fighter with a co-promotional deal.
Yep.
I wouldn't even think
he's also involved in with the British promoter.
That's Queensland with Frank Warren.
Frank Warren, yeah,
I think Frank Warren. He's just with ESPN for the US televising of the US rights. He's not even a full-fledged top-ranked fighter. I don't know whether or not I don't even know whether or not Bob Arum and Top Rank are involved in any of his fights that go into UK other than televising the fight in the United States.
I know that this event that he's got going on is a DAZN thing because I saw the advertisements.
The Ngannou was a DAZN thing?
Or ESPN Plus. No, it's ESPN
Yeah.
Plus. My bad.
Yeah.
My
that's
bad.
just
it's ESPN Plus.
That's the television rights.
Apps.
But see, that's the television rights. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's also aired on DAZN in Europe. Or I don't know who. Actually, I think it may be Sky. It's probably Sky.
I think I saw commercials and advertisements on DAZN yesterday for it, though. So that's, where they had the little commercial with him and Ngannou.
That was on DAZN?
I think, I saw some.
Here, let me see. I got Boxing Showtime app.
I saw some commercials running on DAZN for it. So I don't know if they're going to play it or not. I don't know if he's full-fledged top rank. You got make a good point there. I'm not really sure. That's one thing I'm not up on, Fanon, is who's with what promotional outfit and stuff. I'm not really up on that like I used to be.
Yeah, that's fair. So that's definitely fair. Is he fighting this month? Fury and Ngannou is on DAZN.
That's what I thought because they were running the advertisement for that on DAZN yesterday on both of those cards when Catterall was fighting and the last night's card too.
It's on DAZN. ESPN is DAZN in Europe. ESPN pay-per-view,
okay,
and TNT Sports.
I don't know if it's fair to say he's full-time ESPN.
I don't think he's a top-ranked fighter. I wouldn't say that he has a co-promotional deal, kind of like Monster Inoue. Monster Inoue is not. He fights on. They air his fights. They basically what they have is they have the U.S. rights to air his fights. That's what I think that is. But it is what it is. It is what it is. We'll see. But hey, man, I'm gonna let you go. I know we went way over today. I appreciate you.
I don't even know what time it is. I've been having so much fun. Shit,
man, it's almost. We've been on just short. We came in a little late, but it's just short of 1 o'clock your time, man.
Oh wow. Well, you know what? That means we had a great discussion again.
Man, I love talking to you, blood. I love talking to you.
Man.
We don't have to agree to much of anything, man. But yeah, you win this one. I got to give you the gong. You win. Let me tell you why you win. Because God dog. I do because you got me. You got me with that king shit. That's my weakness, dog. I swear, dog.
Hey, man, as soon as you got pissed off, though, I shut up, though. You notice that,
dude. Hey, my wife knows it too, man. My wife knows it too. My wife will walk up to me like whenever I get mad at in the house, she'd be like, is somebody discounting your opinion and think and is somebody discounting your opinion and ridiculing you where you feel like you're not being heard? And I'm like, oh Lord, you know, your wife, you're not married. You used to be married though, right?
Yeah, I used to be.
Yeah, man. Your wife, after 30 years, my wife knows all my buttons. She never pushes them, but she knows all my buttons, man. And that's my button.
30 years, I would think she would, man.
Yeah, 30 years, man. We ain't been married 30 years, but we've been married. Hey, man. Hey, thank you, man. Great name. Thank you, brother, for the sake. Great show, fam. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. It's always great conversations with blood, man. But look, man, I'm gonna get up out of here. Much love to your blood. We'll be back
put together something good for us next week, man.
Yeah, you put a great show together today, man. This is super fun today. All right, bro.
Okay, man. See you for now. Peace, big bro.
Peace.
One love.
All right, y'all. Check y'all out later. Holler. Oh man, my bad. Hey, B&B, thanks. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm glad I didn't get up and do nothing stupid. All right, bro. Thank you, T. Orlando. And I'll holler back at you. Yeah, man, I was chilling, bro. All right, bro. Get back with you, man. Thank you, B&B. If you the one, Blatcher, yeah, I thought I ended it, bro. I'm glad you told me that because I was like, what? Yeah, hey, man, good catch, bro. Good catch because, you know, I'm glad I didn't get up and scratch my nizzies or something. All right, bro. I'll get back. Deuces.